You are listening to Zen and the Art of Triathlon.
Well, hey there, all you tri freaks and geeks, and welcome to another episode of Zen and the Art of Triathlon, the podcast where you improve yourself by applying Zen to endurance sports and also applying endurance sports to Zen. And it works itself around and you get to the finish line faster. All right, let's talk about who our guest is on this episode. We have Jocelyn McCauley. And this is really special. A few episodes ago, we had Malte Bruns, who was the first overall male amateur at Kona in 2015. And Jocelyn was the first overall amateur female at Kona in 2014 and has since gone pro. And she also has now a 2-year-old daughter. And let's see, what else has she done? Oh, she was first amateur at Ironman Texas in her age group. Yeah, first age group. And that's how she got to Kona. And then at Kona just really kicked some butt. So we're going to talk a lot about how she got to where she is now. She's from College Station, Texas originally. So this is really great. We get to learn what sports she did growing up in the environment that led her to go pro. There's a little bit something extra about her that doesn't make it into the interview. When I was looking for her website or her Twitter handle, so I can post all that on the blog at ZenTriathlon.com, there was an article written about her and about how her older sister drove her to be so competitive. And her older sister started doing triathlons and Ironmans, and then that's what made her want to do one better. Like friendly competition, but competition nonetheless. And those of you that have siblings know exactly what that's about. I have an older brother, 2.5 years older than me, and I was always trying to be as good as him and as he is and was. And that definitely made me into the athlete I am today. If you can hear a little bit of the noise around me, we are in Central Texas on a beautiful February day, which is actually, it's like 65, 70 degrees outside. The birds are chirping, and I'm sitting near I'm on a quiet street near a busy street, but we might get a car going by every once in a while. And so we're going to cover triathlon news and also some training log. In the training log, I cover how to use hand paddles and high torque, low RPM, keeping your heart rate low, and maximizing muscle fatigue on the bike and in the swim. So, and how to use a trainer and all that other stuff. Good stuff in the training log. But let's go ahead and get started with the triathlon news. Here we go. All right. We've had a lot of triathlon news picking up lately. Last episode was a little bit slim, and boy, we are making up for it now. We got a whole bunch of items. First off, let's talk about Jan Frodeno from Germany, who is a gold medal Olympian triathlete and also won Ironman Hawaii Championships this year. He's not only a gold medal winner, but his little swimmers are also now gold medal winners in that they crossed the finish line and made a baby boy, the best prize on earth. And let's see, I think he's married to Emma Snowsill, but he's together with Emma Snowsill, who is also a pro triathlete. So this is how future pro triathletes are made, is exceptional athletes getting together and having exceptional babies. So we'll see what this turns into. Maybe this will. Luke McKenzie, his daughter is his child is a girl, but both he and Beth Gertis, I think is how you say her last name, they have a baby girl, and so now Jan and Emma Snowsill have a little baby boy, and they'll make a relay. Anyway, congratulations. That's really cool. Congrats on being a dad, Jan. You'll love it. It is so much fun. I can tell by Jan's interviews that he seems to be both funny and down to earth, which makes for a great dad. So, good job. All right, there is a new triathlon movie coming out. I can't figure out the title of it. Like, is it called Triathlon or the Triathlon movie or Try or something? But anyway, I'll post a link to it on the blog. Again, ZenTriathlon.com. And the joke at our house is it's a documentary about Emily, because it's about a nurse, which Emily is, who does her first triathlon, which Emily's done triathlons. And it seems like at the end of the trailer, she falls and really bashes up her arm and still has to finish the run, which makes for some good drama. Oh, she's also a nurse in a cancer clinic, which Emily is as well. And in Emily's first triathlon, she fell on the bike and just thrashed her arm. It was bleeding all over the place and running with her arm all hanging weird and bloody. And I was running next to her going, "Don't hang your arm like that. They're going to pull you out of the race, you know." She's like, "I can't." And she's crying while running. And anyway, that seems to be going on in this movie as well. So there is a new documentary out about Emily, ZenTri nurse, doing her first triathlon. Okay, but that seems to be a big deal. It seems like a major production. And let's see, Western States 100 says no WADA banned runners. Okay, the ultra running community is very tightly knit and still such a small and homely and lovely sport because it's real simple and it has to do with mountains and nature. And they do not value winning anywhere near as much as they value keeping the environment clean and keeping the world clean and keeping racers clean. And that's good. That's a good thing. That's what happens when a sport is still kind of small. And they said Western States 100 is the Super Bowl of trail running. Does it go from Nevada to California? But anyway, it goes from pretty much Tahoe down to Auburn, California. It is an awesome, awesome race. It's a really big deal. And you have to win a lottery to get into the race. It's pretty crazy. And it's a lot like Kona for ultra running. But what's interesting is they're saying if you're banned by WADA, which is the World Anti-Doping Association, for doping, you can't come over to the Western States 100, which is really, really great because there's a lot of cyclists who get busted for doping because doping's so rampant in cycling, and then try their hand at other sports because, you know, they're artificially enhanced, so they're going to be good at it. And other sports are kind of like clamoring around going, what do we do about this? And Western States 100 says, do I have the statement from them? I don't have the statement, but it was something like, due to the community getting together and our professional elite racers, we do not want people that have served or serving a doping ban to be in our race. So tough cookies. All right. Next is 3T, which is a big brand in wheels and aero bars and handlebars and stuff like that for bikes. It's a big bike brand for accessories, components for bikes. Lots of aerodynamic stuff. They introduced this crazy new looking aero bar where I forgot what you would call the parts that come out from the side, but say the stem of your bike goes forward and then it attaches to your handlebars, and your handlebars go left and right, to come out. Well, those swoop, and these bars, instead of coming to the left and the right directly, and then the hand grips being mounted to them and then going forward, these bars go forward first and then sweep back and turn into the hand grips. It's like they're reversed. It's really bizarre looking when you haven't seen it before. It makes a lot of sense because if you're going, it'll keep your hands from slipping off the handlebars So I would be, I've wrecked by doing that. My Galveston wreck was kind of like that. And I've had many wrecks, kind of where my hands slip off the handlebars. And I would say if you live in a hilly area where it rains or you get a lot of sweat on your hands, then you might consider these, because your hands will hit the crossbar before they can slip off the front. And if your hands are on the brakes, this is really, really nice. It's pretty interesting. Your thumb will actually catch the crossbar. Whether it's aerodynamically faster or not, I can't really tell. But from a safety issue, yeah, maybe so. And a lot of people are trying to ride tri-bikes where they get into some hilly, wet stuff, and it would be kind of nice. So go check them out. I'll put a link on the blog. But 3T is the name of the company. And let's see, Ironman got together and published a whole bunch of new rules that are universal for all Ironman races across the world. And I was running with my friend the other day, and he's like, "Why? What's up?" And I said, "Well, the problem is that you have an Ironman in South Africa, and you have an Ironman in Australia, and an Ironman in Italy, or 70.3 in Italy. I don't know if there's a full Ironman in Italy, but France and United States, and they all tend to have slightly different rules that have just culturally evolved over time for different regions of the world or different races. And well, what's the problem with that, right? Well, if you travel to several races, you assume the rules at one race apply to another, or you're in a race and somebody's technically cheating because they're doing something and they don't know it, that's against the rules in your race, and let's say they never even get caught for it, then they've gotten an advantage. And it just goes on and on, right, to be standardized across the board. And let's go ahead and go over some of the new standards and double check all these to make sure, don't just go by my word, but go double check and make sure that this is actually in application for your race and that it's in effect. Okay, but anyway, all races are now a 12-meter draft zone. I think we had a mix of, age groupers being one draft zone length and pros being another, and maybe some 10 meters and some 12 and some 12 and some 15, kind of mixed match all over the place. That's a big pain in the butt, is how big is the draft zone, and it changes. So now all Ironman races are 12-meter draft zone for everybody. Everybody, including age groupers. How about that? It's pretty crazy. Gotta love that. No snorkels. And you're probably saying, what? You could wear snorkels? Yes, you could. You could wear a snorkel in the swim. I guess you could wear one on the bike, but it's not really going to help you much. But the consensus is, after all these years, is you don't need a snorkel to swim. And some people will say, oh, I totally need it, and no, you don't. In general, you don't. You need to learn to turn your head to swim. Whatever your thing is where you can't turn your head to swim is probably psychological, and just join a swim team for a while and get laughed at with your snorkel until you quit using it. It's just like training wheels, right? Well, yeah, sure, you'll bike better with training wheels on, but they're kind of a hazard to other people. And your snorkel is kind of if you're snorkel dependent out there in this big swim and then your snorkel gets knocked off, then now you have no snorkel. Now you think you're going to drown. You start causing drama all over the place. So, no, ditch it. You don't need it. You don't need it. And I'm sure there is a very rare case where you probably do need it. Maybe they'll make an exception for you. All right, let's see. We have now you can wear sleeved tri-suits in the swim. So if you've been paying attention to the high-end pro racing end of things, they are starting to, I think it was Mario Van Honacker. I'm trying to remember the first one I noticed wearing it. An Ironman a few years ago. Luke McKenzie. These triathlon suits on the bike where they come all the way, the suit is tight fitting. The jersey top is tight fitting and it comes all the way down to the elbow. And it's apparently like an aerodynamic thing. It makes you faster on the bike. Well, the leftover rule from swimming is because they had all these swimsuits for a while that are reduced aerodynamic, hydrodynamic drag, that make you swim crazy fast because they have certain material in the on the texture of the swimsuit, and they were using them in the Olympics. And then it got crazy. It got a little ridiculous for a few years, where people were wearing suits that went all the way down to their wrist. This is in the Olympics, like the 100-meter freestyle, a suit that goes from wrist to ankle to your neck, covers almost every inch of your body except for your hands and feet and face, and they're really, really, really expensive, and poorer countries can't afford all this junk, and it's kind of going against the spirit of the sport in general, because now you're not a human anymore. You're kind of a fish in your shark skin covered outfit. But the thing is it's really expensive, and poorer countries can't afford all this crap. And so they said, we're banning it. We're bringing everybody back to these crazy swimsuits. Can't go past the shoulder, and like the top of the shoulder. Like if you're wearing kind of like a tank top, sort of. And can't go past the above the knee, like the middle of the thigh, kind of above the knee area, down. So that's it. And so that's the rule. So you're doing an Ironman or whatever. You're doing an open water triathlon and the water's warm. Well, you can buy one of these skin suits and wear it, and it costs a few $100, But to keep things fair and from it getting all out of control again, they said, just like in the Olympics, we're going to cut down the size of these things, but there has now been enough pressure. Imagine coming out of the Ironman swim, and you want to put on your elbow length cycling jersey, top, kit, whatever, and you're soaking wet. If you're soaking wet and trying to put on clothes really fast, tight-fitting clothes, it takes forever. You probably tear all your clothes and break a shoulder joint, shoulder blade, and your collarbone trying to get this crazy crap on. You have like 16 people helping you get it on, and it's tearing. And the pros, the elites, have managed to talk Ironman management and the judges, Jimmy Riccatello, into saying, okay, this is all right. So basically, you can wear these. You can wear a top that goes down to your elbows on non-wetsuit open water swims in Ironman races. Oh, that was a long ways around to get that out there. Whew, but I had to get a little bit of the history out there. And I guess the only other news is, it's not even really news, it's just what's going on with my injury. Yes, I broke my arm falling down while running the other day, a couple months ago now, maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. And yes, it still hurts. Yes, it's still screwed up. Yes, I definitely still feel really stupid. Yes. No, I don't know when it's going to be better. No, I don't know if I'll ever be able to swim like I used to. Yes, I am very sad about it, but I don't know what the future holds, and it sucks. Okay, that's it for the triathlon news. We'll get into more individual and fun training stuff in the training log, but let's go ahead and get started with pro triathlete, which I'm sure she loves to hear. Pro triathlete Jocelyn McCauley, who is originally from Texas, who got first in her age group at Ironman Texas 2014, first overall amateur at Kona, Hawaii 2014, and has now joined us on our show via Skype. Let's get going. Here we go with Jocelyn.
Welcome to the next level.
All right, I have with me on the phone pro triathlete Jocelyn McCauley. How's it going?
Great. A little bit late, but other than that, great.
So the audience should know, I told Jocelyn whenever, well, how do you like to be called? Is it Joss or Jocelyn? I saw your Twitter's kind of a Joss McCauley.
Yeah, it's really whatever people feel like calling me. Like, Jocelyn comes with so many nicknames, so.
It does. So the audience should know that Jocelyn and I were setting up this interview. You always have to find a time, over Skype that it'll work. She said, Well, as long as it's not too late, right?
The earlier the better.
The earlier the better. And I told her that is such the typical serious triathlete response. Everybody that's into triathlon and trains for results goes to bed. Every time I do an interview, they want to do it as early as possible because they go to bed because they've gotten in that habit, right, of going to bed early and getting lots of sleep.
Yes, typically right after my daughter goes to bed. So
yeah, we're gonna get to your daughter. It's such an interesting story. And so, like, what did you do today for training, and what do you got on the schedule for tomorrow?
So for today, I did some hill repeats on the treadmill. It was like a 16-mile run, and then I did some 300-meter repeats in the pool. And then I actually had a big day of recovery. I had a massage today, and then I went and saw my PT that I go to here. And so, yeah, it was a big recovery day for tomorrow. So.
So your 16-mile with hill repeats and your 300-meter repeats in the pool is your recovery day?
Well, the massage and the PT is the physio.
Yeah, I know when... I always say, like, people get serious about, wanting to get better at like the longer stuff. It's like, look to the pros, and it will genuinely shock you about what they can do. So I found that actually that's interesting. You said 300 meters because I found that takes around 5 minutes to do. So it's like a nice kind of like little burn session. Yeah. So do you do the 300-meter repeats at kind of like a 9 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10? Effort,
yeah. Well, today's the first day that we actually had those on my schedule, so they were kind of new. So they were like a 10 out of 10. So, but they were supposed to be, I think, more like an 8 out of 10. So. Yeah,
that's funny. I coach as well, and a lot of times I give the athlete the same thing a second time. And then go, okay, now do it like you wanted to do it the first time.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I have I think 3 more weeks to perfect it. So.
Well, cool. I sent you a list of questions that we can go over, and then we can always add in some more fun stuff. So you said that tonight you might be in recovery boots.
Yes, I am in them.
Are you in them right now?
Yes. I was hoping that you couldn't hear the noise. Yeah. So.
Oh, so what is it? Is there air pressure being pumped into them or something, or how do they work?
Yeah, they're the compression boots. I mean, there's so many different brands. And actually, these aren't mine. They're my physio's, my PT, Beyond Exercise here in Cincinnati. But he's letting me borrow them for these next 3 weeks between just doing Dubai and then doing Ironman New Zealand coming up in March.
Oh, cool.
So I have like 3.5 weeks at home to build, have some good training sessions in, and then get going to New Zealand. So just recovery is kind of pretty vital and crucial right now in these next 3 weeks.
So sponsors out there, if you didn't hear that, future Ironman world champion Jocelyn McCauley does not have a compression boot sponsor.
No, and I want one.
And you want one? Okay, so tell me about how well do they work? Are you a believer?
I am such a believer. Some people are skeptics and whatnot, but like, I mean, before I even knew about these boots, like on really hard training days, I would come home and I'd be laying around and be like, Love, who I call my husband, I call Love, and I was like, I just need I need some like massage. I just need some my fluid in my legs needs to go somewhere, and so I would have him like squish my legs like the compression boots do and stuff. His job is now taken over, thank goodness, by these boots, so he doesn't have to do that.
What's his name?
His name is Scott.
So Scott should start a compression. You've got the backstory right there, a compression boot company.
Yeah.
My wife went pro, and then she needed me to compress her legs, and I thought there has to be a better way. So I invented these boots.
There's so many companies out there now that do it. So yeah.
All right, so let's get back to the last episode. I mentioned out there that this interesting female triathlete hit me up on Twitter for me to go for a jog with her. And I thought, like an age grouper, probably like 40-something, 45 years old. and probably runs like is just getting into triathlon already, like 10 minutes also. And then we started running together, and you just took off, but you weren't trying. I should mention that. It just bounced off the front, and I was like, remember we started running, and we were about a quarter mile into the run before I found out you were a pro. I had no idea, but I knew something was up. There's something going on here. The way you bounced off. So, have you heard that show yet, where I put that out?
I did. I listened to it on one of my runs earlier this week, actually.
Oh, cool. So yeah, that was my side of our little run together. Was that accurate?
Yeah, I thought it was accurate for the most part. Yeah, I can't think of anything that wasn't accurate on it.
So let's talk about like what we talked about on our run, where you told me this is literally what happened. I said, so have you done an Ironman? And you said,
maybe.
What did you say? You said sorta, kinda, maybe. Maybe you might have won one.
Yeah.
And so, what place did you get at Ironman Texas? Was it 2014? Was your first year at it? Or?
Yeah, 2014. I decided in January to do Texas, and I knew I wanted to do one full, and I told my husband and everyone, I was like, I just want to do one and done, just get the experience and whatnot.
Now, at this point, you were an age grouper.
Yes.
Right, and you've never done an Ironman distance race before.
No.
Okay.
No. The previous year, I did my first half.
Well, what place did you get in the half? So what kind of expectations that's going on?
Well, see, the thing is that's not quite too fair, because in 2013 I had my daughter in April, and then I did my first half in Muncie, Indiana, like 11 weeks after I had her. So you're not in like your best shape 11 weeks after you have a kid. So
I mean, your legs might be strong from walking around carrying a baby.
You have no endurance though.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, I took 2 weeks off after having her. Well, 1 week, and then I started jogging the second week. But yeah, so I think I was 5th in my age group. I could be wrong.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, with like a 4:58 or something. It was right under 5.
Yeah.
Somewhere right under 5. So that was my first half, and then and then 2014 decided to do a full. So I did Texas, because I'm from Texas, and my whole family, well, a lot of my family is in Texas, and so did that, and I got first in my age group, and then second amateur overall at that race. So
that is so awesome. Okay, so let's talk about that race, because I did that race too.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, so this was 2014.
Yeah, it was the year after the hot year.
Yeah, it was that was the year where it was a tiny bit cooler.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Well, the swim was wetsuit legal for like the first time.
I know. Yeah, that was bizarre.
Yeah.
And we had a cold front kind of come through like the few days.
Yeah, and like some rainstorm or something that got the water temperature to drop.
That's really nice. So, okay, you were, at what point on that race did you realize that you were just killing it out there on your first ever Ironman? Was it like, I would think like maybe like, you might say like halfway through the run that you're like, until then you don't want to jinx yourself and say, oh, wait, you know what? I've got somebody at the door. Hold on. Let me go check it, because I'm here by myself, and we're expecting somebody to pick up some stuff for my son. Hold on.
Okay.
We'll edit this out. It'll be good. Is there somebody here?
Hey!
Hey!
Adam,
How's it going?
next door.
Hey, how's it going?
I don't know if we have tickets in our parking pass for tomorrow's basketball game.
Awesome.
You guys are interested?
Yeah, we are.
3 o'clock tomorrow.
3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
I work with it.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Thank you.
See you there.
All right, bye. Kona, come back in. No, Kona, wrong way. Bye. So that was our new neighbor, works for Texas A&M Sports.
So basketball tickets? That's awesome.
Free basketball tickets.
Man, can you get free football tickets too?
And a parking pass.
Wow.
And A&M's basketball team is really kicking butt this year. We're going to get into how you're from College Station too, from Aggie. So there's so much in this interview we got to get to. Okay, so anyway. All right, sorry, we got interrupted. And,
Texas. Texas,
yeah, at what point? Because I know, like your nutrition, right, or like a cramp or something like that can strike. Unless you're within like 5K of the finish line, anything can still happen. You can gut out a 5K, but up until then, you don't really know. So, what point were you like? And did you know like what place you were in or anything like that?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously I had no idea through the swim and the bike and whatnot. And then got out on the run, and it was, I think, so my sister did it as well, and
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, she was in front of me coming off of the bike.
Really?
Yeah,
Awesome.
onto the run. She actually ended up 4th overall at that race that year. So she got 2nd in her age group and 4th overall. But so it was on the run. I think I was going into my 3rd lap, so the final lap of that run, and I saw her. I passed her, I think, on the 3rd lap.
What'd you say?
Oh, I don't think I said anything.
Yeah.
But
are y'all like really competitive with each other?
Oh, we're competitive, but it wasn't because we were competitive.
Yeah.
It was because I was tired.
Yeah, I know how you feel.
I mean, I think I said good job or, keep it up or something like that. And
In Ironmans, the run slowly degrades the things you say to other people. Slowly degrades into good job.
Yeah,
good
exactly.
job, like that.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
But
go ahead.
she somehow had the effort, and she was like, go win it, because she knew what place I was in. I had no idea. I knew I was doing well.
Yeah.
But I didn't end up catching the first place girl. So, yeah. I knew I was doing well. I knew that I would qualify for Kona when she was saying go win it. So
Yeah. Okay. So then you're like, man, I've qualified for Kona. Did you know immediately then that you were going to go, or you were going to have to think about it for a while? Or I mean, you have to know the next day, right?
Yeah,
you have to tell them.
know the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't a for sure thing. I mean, it was everyone who is in Ironman, most people are like, Kona is awesome, you have to go to Kona and everything, but it's Amy, it's a family decision. It's a lot of time and effort and sacrifices that go into the training for it and everything. And I knew that if I went to Kona, it wouldn't just be as some people call it, like a victory lap. It would be to actually try to compete and do well, because I can't just do anything like half. So it's all or nothing. So we talked about it as a family and ended up deciding to do it. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I know. Like I've done nationals, and also it's everybody's the exact same speed.
Yeah,
the swim is insane. Like it's such a grinder, and the if I managed to get into Kona, like for me it would be just to be there, right? Like it's so competitive at the guys level, and if I got in, I would have just barely qualified. So you're sailing in like right at the lead of the pack. You have a chance to actually like really compete for the overall win, right? As an amateur. So now you're thinking, so what is Texas? Texas is in May, right? Yeah. And Kona's in October. You got lots of time to keep training. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you're in it to win it, right?
Well, I was in it. I had the outspoken goal of being top 5, like overall. I had the little secret goal inside myself to win it, but I didn't want to jinx myself and say it out loud.
Yeah,
so
that's a good way to jinx.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so did you have any problems working your way up to race day for Kona? Like any injuries or bike wrecks or anything crazy go out of whack, or it was just a nice consistent training?
Not to Kona. Actually, I had a bike wreck leading up to Texas. It was my first bike wreck that I had. I was going between like 28 to 30 miles an hour down this hill.
Yeah.
And like I don't know what happened. Like my front wheel wobbled, and like I didn't get it to stop, and I went over. And fortunately, I was with like a whole bunch of people. There was like a physical therapist or a doctor, like all these other people there. And when they saw it, they thought I broke a collarbone or something. And I actually ended up. I was around 25 miles from home. I ended up riding my bike home, and. And actually attempting to do a brick after, but I did like 1 mile and ended up like, no, I'm just riding a adrenaline rush and going back. And I ended up having some pretty bad road rash I still have scars from. And then I ended up actually breaking a rib and not being able to swim for like 2 weeks before Texas. And then probably got in the water like 2 times before Texas, and then Texas was a mass start, and I was terrified of getting kicked in the ribs and getting it like rebroken and stuff. But But in terms of Kona, I did not. I took 2 weeks off after Texas and just had a fun build in the summer, to Kona, and enjoyed every minute of training. And I mean, I with kids, I mean, I'm sure that it brings a bunch of sickness into your house, no matter how diligent you are.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm sure I got sick several times, but that's nothing less than typical. So, and then Kona, yeah. So it was a good build, and got there, I think Sunday before the race, because I had a good friend actually from Cincinnati, Allison, that was getting married in Kona before she did Kona. So she got married on Monday. So I was there for her wedding and then race on Saturday. So
do you think going to that wedding kind of relaxed you, so that you went into the race nice and fresh, or
I think
not as nervous?
Yeah, I think that both of those amateur races, Texas and Kona, I just went in wanting to have fun. That was my number one goal. I think it's always my number one goal with all of this, is to always have fun with it, because if you're out there enjoying yourself with a smile on your face and having fun, then everything else seems to fall into place. It's cause or effect. I mean, or you have everything that you are doing right, and so you're happy about it, whichever one. But yeah. So I mean, I went into the race really relaxed. I mean, I don't know if it was because of the wedding or if it was really just because I was going out there to do my best and to have fun, and whatever may be. So
who was coaching you at the time, or were you self-coached, or what were you doing?
So I was like kind of self-coached, kind of coached by my sister at the very beginning, and then my sister, I had my sister take over everything, because I work a lot better with, like, you tell me what to do and I'll do it, and I don't want to have to think about it kind of thing. So yeah, she coached me through Kona, and then through the first, I guess mostly the first year until August of 2015, my first pro year. And then I switched coaches to David Tilbury Davis down in the Woodlands. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. So going into Kona, right? How was the swim?
So that was the first year that the swim was divided between the men and the women, and the women started. I don't know how much time back, but we started after the amateur men. And my sister had qualified at Texas and was there, and so my goal was just to stick on her feet, because I knew she was a better swimmer than I was. So I stuck on her feet actually the entire swim, and she was my bodyguard through the men, because the men, as we swam through them, didn't like being passed by all these girls. They were a little bit more aggressive in the water than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
But it was fine, and I mean, they said that the swells were a little higher than what they have been in the past, but I didn't really notice anything too bad. I was more focused on staying on my sister's feet. So we got out of the water together and then took off on our bikes, and the bike was crazy. That was the year of the crazy wind that they were saying it was worse than, 15 years. So yeah, it was really bad wind. I mean, it was hard to take in nutrition because it was so bad. So, but it was good enough. I mean, there was a lot of drafting out there that's just totally blatant drafting that I can't stand. But and then coming back in, and then out on the run, I knew coming in that I was doing well, because I didn't see many, like, I wasn't passing many women anymore, and I didn't see many out there, and came in and I asked the people in the change tent, like, what place am I in? Do you have any idea how many girls have come through? And they had no idea. So I started going out on the run, and this, like, 6-year-old boy who was volunteering, maybe he was 8, he was young, who was volunteering at the first aid station, said, you're the fifth amateur woman. Really? And so I was like, whoa, really? I didn't know if I could believe him or not. But I kept going, and my husband was there, and so I saw him out there, and he was telling me where I was at and stuff. And I remember at the at the top of Palani Hill, I saw Chrissy Wellington.
Oh, cool.
And and she was cheering me on. I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. It's like surreal, right? Like, and kept going. And then I saw my husband again, and he said, you're in second. The first, person is in front of you. You have her, no problem. Mm-hmm. And that's when that just relief came over me. Like, sweet, I just have to keep doing what I'm doing, and I can get it. And I was still headed out to the energy labs, and so out in the energy labs, passed 2 girls, and I mean, you're in such a different state of mind. I tried to look at their numbers, and I don't know which one of them was a pro, which one was an amateur. A pro having a bad day, but one was an amateur. An amateur. And so somewhere out in the energy labs, I passed, and I came into first, and then just took it all the way home. So I remember coming up to, I think it was mile 23, and I thought it was mile 24, and my heart was broken. When I saw that it was only mile 23, and I still had 3 miles instead of 2. But so that was the race, and I crossed the finish line, and was looking around for my husband and didn't see him, and I was getting whisked away to drug testing. Of course. So, but
that's
somehow,
a good thing, though,
yes, I'm glad that they do that. But somehow we met on the way up to drug testing, and he came with me, so it all worked out.
Yeah, where are you going? Drug testing, because I'm so awesome.
I don't know. When I saw him, we both were just in the state of shock, and happiness of did I just do that?
So,
did that seriously happen?
All right, let's take a quick break from our interview with Jocelyn to talk about Amrita bars. Longtime sponsor, good stuff going on here. I had an Amrita bar this morning a little bit before I got into my bike ride, and whoo, man, one heck of a ride. Holy cow. On Zwift, using the trainer indoors, 2 hours of just hammering away with nice big juicy chewy Amrita bar before I started going. Now, Amrita bars are organic, natural. There's actually no nuts in them. There's seeds in them instead. So if you have a nut allergy, that's pretty cool. And man, I've just been really, really happy with them for a long time. They make really good stuff. And let's see, they sent me an email so I can give you some specifics on things that are great about them. Man, they don't freeze in cold weather, which is a really good thing right now. Last show, I talked about how I took a bite into a Cliff Bar and almost broke my teeth because it was cold. It was frozen. And Amrita bars don't do that. And let's see, they're not grain-based. They're date-based, which is really cool. They reduce inflammation. Allergens cause inflammation. Training causes inflammation. So why would you eat a food that doubles up on your inflammation? Just have some Amrita bars. They have a club, which is pretty cool because they have a whole bunch of cool gear. I love my Amrita kit. It is awesome. It's black with some bright rainbow colors mixed in the logo in the center. I always get nice compliments on it. And it is 20% off the regular price if you join their club, plus free shipping, plus choose the bars that you want. And there's a triathlon or cycling top for free with your order. You will need to email in your size with your order and gender. And let's see, here's a link to Amrita Club. AmritaHealthFoods.com, AMRITA, healthfoods.com, AmritaHealthFoods.com/product/Amrita-Club. So let me do that again. AmritaHealthFoods.com/product/Amrita-Club. And the discount code for ZenTri is, let's see, Zen2016. Is it 10% off or is it 20% off? I forgot what you get, but you get a lot off. Zen2016 to order anything off their site and get a nice discount. All right, that's enough about Amrita bars, my favorite. So let's go ahead and get back to Jocelyn. Here we go.
After that happened, after you got first at this, at what point does it sink in that maybe you want to go pro, right? Were you like during the race or before the race, or was it like after the race? You're like,
I had no ambitions of that before the race or even thought of, I didn't think about that. It was, after the race when I got a whole bunch of calls for interviews with different podcasts and different home news stations and stuff for interviews, and everyone was asking me like, so are you going pro or are you gonna keep racing amateur? I was like, I have no idea. I have a week of vacation here in Hawaii. I'm gonna soak that in, and then we can think about things later. So then it was a later conversation it was a couple of weeks long of a conversation of what to do and what we were planning on doing, and then decided, in December, January time that I would do it and see what happened. So
up until then, you were a nurse, right?
Yeah, I worked in the cardiovascular intensive care unit at Christ Hospital.
So you trained for and won first amateur at Kona while working as a nurse.
Yeah.
And also being a new mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, so by Texas, she was like a year old for Texas. So she was like a year and a half old for Kona. So that, she was still taking 2 naps a day, which is nice.
Yeah. They're not really nursing that much anymore, but they're everywhere and they want your attention constantly. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. I fortunately have a really good relationship with the YMCA here, and they have a great child watch program here, and she loves the people in there. She's asked me plenty of times, can we go to the Y, please?
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. So
yeah, that's a real stroke of luck right there. So let's talk about, let's see, you grew up in College Station. Were you born here in College Station or
born and raised?
Born and raised, which is funny that you're calling from Cincinnati because that's where I was born.
Yeah.
So we've totally swapped cities. And I was born in Cincinnati in 1973 and lived. My parents, I didn't have any choice in anything. So we lived out on this road in the outskirts of town, John Gray Road, and eventually we moved to Tennessee, and then to Alabama, and then to Houston, and then I ended up going to a College Station to go to A&M, Texas A&M. People don't know, and my impression of Texas A&M was it's a town out in the middle of nowhere, right? And this is crazy. There's nothing to do out here. But it turns out, after I lived here for a while, it's a great place to cycling and running and things like that. So when you grew up here, were you on the school track team, swim team, or what'd you do?
Yeah, I was on the track team. I did track all through junior high and high school and cross country. When I was in College Station, there was only one high school. There's 2 now. So I was at Kinsall. With Coach Wellman, who I think coaches for the other high school now. But so I ran there and everything, and I loved it. It was a great town to grow up in. It was a very family friendly town, and
totally,
lots of fun stuff to do. So
So then, where did you went to BYU?
Yeah, Brigham Young University.
And then ran track, and I was doing a little bit of research on you, and you were kind of a track superstar or something like that.
Yeah, I did track and cross country there. I wasn't ever All-American. I struggled with a couple things while I was in college, but I still did well. I still, was on their traveling team and varsity and whatnot. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that was a wonderful, awesome experience that I would never give back. It was just so amazing, and I have friends from the team to last a lifetime. So
where did you learn to swim?
I learned to swim I'm sure that it's still at College Station, the Tsunamis Summer League swim team. Yeah.
All right, cool.
My parents thought swimming was super important, so they got us all into swimming summer league, and they were licensed officials for the meets, and my dad started the gun or whatever. He was a starter for most of the meets, and so it was a whole family affair on Saturdays. Wake up, way too early in the morning to drive to wherever for the swim meet and stuff. So it was a lot of fun, but we only swam during the summer, and then took the whole year off and then swam in the summer. And I think we did it from, I don't know, I was probably 5 or 6 until I was, I don't know, 13, 12, somewhere around there. So a handful of years. So.
Yeah, so you've got the swimming background, right?
Yeah,
you know how to
sure.
train in the pool. You know what real swim team practices look like, and what it's supposed to feel like.
Yeah.
And got the technique down, right? So
yeah. Although
cool.
I really can't say that I was ever very super serious during summer league. It was more of something for us to do and have fun.
Yeah. Oh, summer league swimming. I grew up doing that too. That is so much fun. It's like it's just a big party all Saturday morning.
And then the meets are awesome. And like it was the only time that my parents would let us have like candy. So we would have like Starburst, and then like after the meet we would have like Hershey's candy bar. So it was fun.
Did you have the swim team meets? Summer swim league is where I discovered Frito chili pies. Did you ever have one of those?
No, I didn't discover those.
They cut open a small bag of Fritos.
And
then pour chili and cheese over it and give you a spoon, and they serve it to you like on a paper plate. But you eat it out of the bag, hot.
Yeah, see, I
thought that was the greatest thing, the greatest invention ever.
That does sound great, but my parents would never let us buy the food there. We always we had this like red cooler of food that we brought with us, and we only could have the red cooler food. So
yeah, I've been there, done that too.
Oh yeah,
that is so cool. Okay, yeah, because in Texas, summer swim leagues is a big deal. That's especially in Houston, right? We would just swim all over north and west side of Houston.
Oh yeah,
against
we
other
drove
teams.
everywhere. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I swam. Did you ever hear of Bear Branch swim team out of Houston? Okay, well
sure
if you haven't,
did.
that's okay. Yeah. It's not about me. It's about you. So let's see. You decided to go pro, and so what do you think? What's actually the process of going pro? Do you write an email to USAT or to who and say, yes, I'd like to go pro? What's the process?
Yeah, I mean, I heard your interview with the male amateur who won this year. Yeah, and I mean, it's different for every country. So for the U.S., like there's different qualification like standards that you have to meet, and if you meet one of those, then you literally, it's just this like application that they have online that you fill out and you send in to them and pay their dues.
Pay to be a pro.
Well, yeah, but USAT is super cheap. I mean, it's.
I know, it's just funny, like.
Yeah.
Compared to other sports.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Instead of like, oh, you're a pro, how much do they pay you? You're like, no, we got to pay them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So pay those dues, and then once you have your USAT card, then you have to apply for your like Ironman brand license and stuff like that. So
you pay like a flat amount, but that gets you into all the Ironman races. Do they still do it that way?
Yeah, you just pay. Well, so you have the choice. You can either pay one flat amount and get into all the races, or if you just want to do 170.3 or one Ironman, they also have like a one-time fee that you can do to pay for one race instead. So
okay, all right. So let's see. You quit your job as a nurse. So do you get to keep are you still going to keep up your nursing license somehow in case you want to go back to nursing soon, or what are you doing with that?
Yeah, you can put your nursing license on hold and then just do a whole bunch of continuing education credits to be able to like reactivate it.
Okay.
So that's like the easiest way to do that. Instead of having to do all the continuing education credits every year and paying all the fees every year every 2 years to renew your license and to keep it current. It's just a little bit easier to get back into it when you want to. So. Okay.
So you tell your supervisor, your boss, or who do you tell that you're going to go pro? And are they surprised, or they even understand what you're talking about?
They were super surprised. They're like, you can make money at that? I was like, well, I hope to.
Yeah.
I hope to make some at least.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure, as you know, with your wife, there's very high turnover in nursing and in the nursing field, especially in the hospital. There's super high turnover, and so they always want to keep you once they have you. And so she was like, is there anything we can do? Like, I mean, can we have you go, more part-time or anything, trying to get me to stay. But, it was just, no, I I tell everyone when we made this decision, I have my husband, I have my daughter, I have church responsibilities,
Right.
and then I had triathlon and I had work. So I had these 5 things, and one of them was going to have to go, and it wasn't going to be, any one of those other ones. So it was work. So.
No, I think in your situation, I would have done the exact same thing, right? Because there's so many nursing jobs, right?
Yeah.
And the field, like you said, there's such high turnover. They're looking for people. So you can, like you said, literally, you can put your job on hold and then come back to it. And it won't be terribly difficult to pick up where you left off, at least. I mean, yeah, you would lose some years of experience, right? But you can get right back in. Like the job that I do, if I left, well, I'd have to find another one like it somewhere, and it'd be really difficult to get back in to where I was.
Yeah.
So you're in like a perfect situation where you're like, you can dip your toe in the pro waters and see how you do, and then you can pick back up being a nurse again, and you won't have thrown a major wrench in your life, right? I mean, so what was it like? Like all of a sudden you wake up and you don't have to go to work now. Did you get completely overtrained like a lot of people do because they have all this training time, or did you go into it pretty smart and say?
No, I mean, I went into it smart. Yeah. I mean, that's why you hire someone to tell you what to do, because if you did it yourself, then I wouldn't. I would be injured all the time. So, So I was really smart about it, and my sister was still coaching me at that time, so she was really smart about it, keeping me, honest. And we did increase hours, because when I was an amateur, I only trained, my max week was 18 hours in a week for both Texas and Kona. My average was probably around 15 a week.
Yeah,
is what I usually right around average. So I didn't have. I was nowhere near the what did he say, like 35, 40 hours a week? Up to 50 or something.
Yeah,
like
one
that?
time he did like 50 or peak weeks
Yeah.
for 50 hours. We're
It's
talking
ridiculous.
about, people need to go back and listen to this interview with the German guy
Yes.
that won overall. But I mean, he was training kind of the same way as you, just going out and having fun. And he had no
responsibilities.
No responsibilities, no real training plan. Just went out and ate ice cream and rode his bike all day.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was hilarious. He ate ice cream as his nutrition. Although I'm not much better. So when I started, I did Starburst jelly beans as my nutrition. That was like 100% all my nutrition for every single race. Well, that and a bong breaker bar, because
wait, you ate Starburst jelly beans as your fuel?
Oh yeah, that was my fuel for all of my races.
Okay, so wait, including Texas and Kona?
Oh yeah, for Kona, I had the tropical flavor.
Oh yeah, because you're in Kona.
Exactly.
Totally makes sense. Yeah.
Exactly. See, you gotta keep it fun and honest, right?
Oh my gosh, that is crazy. Okay, so let's see. You now you're going pro, and things are. So this is 2015. So this is last year, right?
Last year, yeah.
Okay, and what did you change? Well, you said more volume, right? Mm-hmm. And then how are you looking at nutrition? Because that's a big deal. Because there's some coaches that specialize in getting better results by first looking at nutrition and making sure you have enough energy the entire way.
Yeah.
You're already at this. See, you're already successful, so you have energy the entire way. But so we're looking at just trying to improve things. You're not like somebody that like bonks halfway through, and you need a major nutrition overhaul. But at the same time, what is your coach's name again? I love him, by the way. I just can never remember his name because he's out of the Woodlands.
David Tilbury Davis.
David Tilbury Davis. Let me write that down because I keep forgetting his name. And I've done a couple of his events, and he's regionally around here. He's a big deal. So he puts on that training camp every year. Oh,
so that is Tim Floyd.
Oh, Tim Floyd. That's why.
Yeah. He's the one who puts on the swim camp.
Okay, so where's David out of?
He's out of the Woodlands as well. They're both based in the Woodlands.
Okay. And
or Magnolia,
Magnolia Masters.
Yeah.
So which starts a thread every winter. on Slow Twitch where they talk about their
Pro 20 camp.
Yeah, their camp and start describing it, and the swim workouts that they do just shocks people. Like, holy crap!
Right, like the death. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, so which coach or which person, or has it even happened yet, took a look at your nutrition? What? Starburst? We got to get you on like Infinite this or like Carboom or something, or UCAN or what? What was your first exposure to that?
Well, so I have a good friend here who has encouraged me a lot. His name is Brian, and he is the one who pushed me. He's the one who always like puts these ideas in my mind, like, hey, you need to do this. And he was like, hey, you should probably have like all liquid nutrition. It would probably be a good idea. This was before I had hired David, and so I started looking at liquid nutrition and stuff like that. And I just actually this year I'm switching to a company called XRCell and using their liquid nutrition. So
XRCell? How do you
yeah,
XRCEL.
So
okay.
Yeah, which it's their nutrition is it's an instant glucose release, and then they have they combine the glucose with like a gel, and so it's a slow release through the intestines, and so you're not going to have like the upset stomach that you would on some of these other nutritions and different things like that. But so that's what I'm using this year. I started with a different brand and really like actually using liquid nutrition, but in my races I tend to also want something solid. And so I've kept my bonk breaker bars, and I do one of those during the bike ride typically, at least right now. But my coach has also said, I know, like at the level that you're at and at the level that you're going to be, continuing to get to, you're going to want just all liquid nutrition. You're not going to feel like a solid. So my next race in Ironman New Zealand, I'm going to just do 100% pure liquid nutrition. So
yeah, that's really interesting. I was chatting with just over online the guy that won Ultraman this year. And you talk about a long time on the bike, right? A long time doing all kinds of stuff. And he said something really interesting that liquid nutrition and then slices of potato, right? Like boiled or potato. Yeah, like diced up. So, the size of a Starburst or I don't know, whatever, right? And or a chunk. And I said, really, that's actually, I hadn't thought of that. That's pretty smart. And he said, yeah, it gives you something, that settles in your stomach. So it gives you something solid. Yeah. But it's a potato, right? So you digest it almost immediately. But it is a solid, but it's just starch, so your body just powers through it. Like so for a few rides after that, I went out with a Ziploc baggie with, I baked a potato and then diced it up and then put sea salt on it. And
delicious.
And then just ate that as I was riding along, and it was amazing. Like I was like, "Holy cow, that's a really cool solution." So that's why I like talking to people better.
I've done that before on rides. When I'm at home, I've never taken the potato out like on a long ride. I've just done it on my trainer and done sweet potatoes on my trainer. Yeah. I've done all sorts of things. I've done during Christmas time. I do gingerbread house and stuff like that. So
yeah. Well, the first ever Ironman, I interviewed the guy that won the first ever Ironman, and he ate chocolate chip cookies out of a plastic grocery sack off of his handlebars on his road bike.
Awesome.
Yeah. I was like, really? It wasn't a problem? He goes, nope, I won.
Yeah.
So it worked fine. All right, so let's talk about what races did you do last year?
I did Ironman New Zealand. I ended up 5th there. Not what I wanted. I had lots of excuses that I could name off. And then I did Oceanside 3 weeks later and didn't do so awesome there. I didn't have legs after New Zealand. And then I did Ironman Texas last year as well. Yeah. I ended up 13th there, and
really had a competitive race that year.
Yeah, it was. I had a great swim and a bike, but it's a triathlon, not a duathlon, so the run didn't go so well. And then took a little time off, and then just kind of regrouped and whatnot for the summertime, and ended up hiring David in August. We started together. And then had my first race with him in November, and it was Ironman Malaysia, which I told you the horror story of that race.
Oh, yeah, the traveling and the food poisoning.
The traveling, and then I had got sick the night before, and then I had mechanical issues with my bike. I was off for my bike for like 20 minutes the first like 5 miles, and then got a flat, and then the nursing side of me turned on, and I was dehydrated to start the race because of getting sick the night before, and just knew I was getting like medically, in the areas of, needing medical attention with the dehydration I was having. I mean, it's like what, 95 degrees, 100% humidity. Like it's like the day that you ran your Ultra Baby, right?
Yeah, I know. Like, what is going on? And then I looked at the weather, like, how hot is it outside? I had to have somebody else ask, because I'm in the middle of running, and they're like, yeah, it's like 95 degrees.
Yeah, it's like, you don't want to know.
I was like, oh man, no wonder this is so horrible. Yeah.
So I ended up stopping like at a med tent, and they wanted to take me to the hospital, and I told them I wasn't going to go to the hospital in Malaysia. So, I mean, I won't go to a hospital in the States. I'm not going to go to the one in Malaysia. So,
I am a nurse. I know what's going on.
Yeah, I know what's going on. Yeah. So ended up, I got it back to T2, and just went home with my husband was there. So I DNF'd. It was the first race of my life that I've DNF'd. So yeah, that was hard, but it was a hard decision that you had to make, and I learned the most from that race than I have any other race. So it wasn't the best.
What did you learn in that race then?
What did I learn?
Yeah, don't go to Malaysia.
yeah, I learned way too much. So I learned that I knew nothing about bike mechanics, that I really needed to learn more about it, because like my chain got stuck and I didn't know what was wrong with that, and then I actually think I put my derailleur on wrong, and so I was having issues with that. I never picked up power from my power meter that I had on my bike, and just I learned that I needed to know how to adjust things on my bike myself, which David, I was just obviously in the Woodlands for the training camp, and David took me through an afternoon of bike mechanics 101, what to do. And then I just learned lots of little things about like setting up my bike in transition and what I needed to do different with all of that.
Yeah.
And then I learned like my breakfast. I always have a solid for breakfast. I typically do the same thing that I do for my long ride days, which is either like pancakes, muffins, or like bonk breaker bars, like one of those. So I'll do that. And so I usually do that for my race, but being sick the night before, my stomach just wasn't settled. And so I needed, now what I do is I have a backup liquid nutrition in case I can't stomach a solid nutrition, which, a lot of people are nervous in the morning and they can't stomach that solid that they had planned on and everything. I also learned that I need to pay more attention to the little intricacies of international flights and international travel that I was having issues with. So yeah.
All right, let's hop in this interview real quick with Jocelyn to give a mention to Living Fuel, livingfuel.com. Go check them out. They sent me recently their plant-based protein, which they say is thebomb.com. It's pretty funny. But, oh my gosh, it tastes so good. I let a coworker try it, and she was like, oh my gosh, that is so good. That was her favorite. It's kind of like vanilla yellow pea and brown rice protein, which is so good. It tastes awesome. It's got prebiotics and probiotics in it, and it's nice to add to green smoothies that if you want to add in some protein, which usually you do. And let's see, it comes in a tub that you can just scoop it out, and oh man, it's so good. And they sent me these like chia and coconut seed packets, which I handed out a few at work, and people just flip out about those. They're so good. And they're like, how did you get this? I said, I got it as part of my podcast. Start a podcast, and maybe you can get some too, or go buy some. They're like, really? How did you get this? We looked this up online. This stuff is awesome. And I said, yeah, livingfuel.com. It's awesome. They sent me some because they wanted me to talk about it on the show. And they make a green smoothie mix, a powdered mix that you can add. It's got chia seeds in it and all kinds of good stuff. Just all around, really, really cool. Lots of coconut and lots of fiber and lots of healthy vitamin and nutrition in their vitamins and nutrition in their stuff, so you can catch up on anything that you're missing and make sure that you're eating nice and healthy. All right, that's it. livingfuel.com. Let's get back to our interview with Jocelyn. Here we go.
I didn't know how to take care of a bike until I started mountain biking.
Yeah.
And then a friend of mine made fun of me because I didn't know how to change a tire, even though I've been riding bikes my entire life. But now I'm like 20 something years old, like maybe 20, and I was taking my bike and make the tire change. What? I said, well, yeah, I got a flat tire. He's like, dude, you need to fix that yourself. And and the cheapskate in me, once he told me how much money I would save, I was like, holy cow! As a college student, And,
like, why am I doing that?
Yeah, but the cool thing about quality racing bikes is, except for like working on like the crank, like the bottom bracket, like taking that apart, and maybe the headset, like everything else on a bike is pretty much made for you to work on yourself quickly.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Everything is like an Allen wrench away from you adjusting it yourself. And you go look at like a cheap bike from Walmart, like $100, they call them a BSO, a bike-shaped object, because they're such crap. They're like really difficult to work on because they don't expect you to ever do anything with it.
Yeah.
But a race bike, yeah, you can adjust everything. And then once you get that, then it's like, okay, this is adjustable. I just don't know how. So you can kind of like poke at things.
Yeah. Like, oh, no, it's the other way I need to do it. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's the wrong way. Oh, how do I adjust that? Nothing on that bike is fixed. Everything is adjustable and changeable. Yeah. Well, that's really cool that you spent some time learning that. That comes in handy so much. And then to help other people too.
Yeah, well, it's funny that you talked about changing tires because changing tubes. I'm horrible at that. It takes me like 10 minutes to do it. Mm-hmm. So actually literally on my schedule for these next 3 weeks is like race. Oh, I don't remember what he called it, but like basically I have to change my tube. He wants me to keep practicing changing my tube until I can get it under 3 minutes. So
that's pretty fast. Yeah.
That's really fast.
But you know what? In your field, that's something you need to know how to do, right? That actually matters.
It does.
How fast you can do that.
Yeah,
so you're riding clincher tires with tubes inside?
Clinchers, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are way easier.
I've never ridden tubulars, so.
Okay. Me neither.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard. I ride. A lot of people ride these. The Grand Prix 2000, or what is it? Grand Prix 5000 S, which are like the fastest tire, and then with latex tubes, they're considered to feel almost exactly the same as tubeless. So
yeah, David had me get latex tubes, and I don't remember what tires. He sent me the link and said, "You need these," and I said, "Okay," and I got them. So
yeah. There's a whole bunch of things like what adapters to use, like valve extenders and stuff that end up being really low maintenance and that work, and all there's all kinds of little tricks over time. So let's talk about Dubai.
Yeah.
So you got a couple mentions in the Slow Twitch press, the triathlon press, about did you get fourth or
I got
at
fourth.
Dubai against some serious girls out there. So
there was some good competition, yeah.
So what's it like lining up against Danielle Reef, and was Carolyn Steffen in this too? Or
Yeah, Caroline Steffen, Daniela Reef, and then Kaisa got third. Andrea Forrest, and then Corin Abraham, and I'm gonna miss one other big name. It slipped me. So, but Tiny Deckers. Yeah, that's right. All of those girls are just they've all won countless Ironmans.
And then there's Jocelyn.
And then there's me, who's
from College Station, Texas.
Right.
Against all these Germans and
right. So I was the
So
only American female there, and then
Yeah.
there was Brad Williams,
You're
and
like-
he was the only American male.
You're
So
like, howdy.
yeah, yeah.
All right. So you, how did you get there? How many days ahead did you get there? Were you able to actually go out and check out the course, or was it like, did they do the race on like freeway like they've done before and other races like that, where you can't actually get on the course?
Yeah, you can't get on the course.
Yeah.
It's basically all on this freeway
Mm-hmm.
that you can't get on. I mean, it's not considered a freeway. My homestay was saying it's not technically considered a freeway, but it's still, you're not allowed to bike on roads I think are over 60 kilometers an hour for speed limit there.
Yeah.
And it was over 60 kilometers an hour. I think it was 80 or something for the speed limit. But Dubai has some amazing cycle tracks that are, just dedicated specifically to bikes. I think they're different than like what I think of as here in the States, like with like the bike, trails or whatever that like recreational riders go on and stuff. Like the cycle tracks is where most people go and ride their bikes. And I mean, the cycle tracks they have are dedicated, well, one of them at least is dedicated just for cyclists. Like there's no runners on it or walkers. It's just for cyclists. And it's the size of a road. It's as wide as a road is. And it's just amazing what they have out there. And like if the road crosses it, like they have guards there to make sure that cars aren't going to cross the road while a bike is coming. And
Oh, wow. That's
yeah. I mean, they have like shower facilities there, and like it's ridiculous. Like out at one of the cycle tracks, it's out in the desert, and they have all these facilities. They even have a bike shop that's open from like 6 a.m. to like I don't know, way too late at night. Whenever any cyclist would be there. And a cafe and everything out in the middle of this desert. So
That's cool.
Yeah, so even though you can't go on the course, you can go on some pretty awesome areas to go practice, at least in the heat. And well, it wasn't too hot, but
So Dubai is a half Ironman.
Yeah.
And so I saw in the article that you came out of the water in seventh, and then you worked your way up to fourth.
You worked way up. Well, so I came out of the water, which was shortened because there were winds that were 25 to 35 mile an hour, up to 50 mile an hour gusts, is what I've heard, what was said. So, like, the swells were predicted to be, like, 2 meters, so, like, 6 feet. Yeah. So they had to put us in this little harbor, and the pros, we did 2 loops. The amateurs only did 1 loop of, like, 600 meters. So we did 1,200. And then we had a 750 meter, so almost a half mile run in the sand to transition. So that was ridiculous. But
in your case, anytime it goes back over to running, right? You're a collegiate runner. That's not a problem. Like anytime I do a triathlon and they have to shorten the swim, I get mad. I'm like, this is my one thing.
Yeah. I was happy with the shortened swim, but then after the fact I'm like, actually I kind of wish that it was the same. I wish it was the full length. I mean, I had just spent 3 weeks of swim camp, like in the pool, like 10 to 12 hours for a week, so it was like my swim fitness was there. I mean, obviously my swim is the worst out of anything, but yeah, so I came out in 7th, but really 5 and 6 were just right in front of me. I drafted off of them in the swim the whole time. So 5 through 8, we all came out together. And my transition times really stink. They're at least 30 seconds off of anyone else out there. So so I am not like the typical pro clipping the shoes on the bike and doing the flying mounts. Like I am such a noob, so I put my shoes on and ran with my shoes, ran with my bike out of transition and clipped on and went on my way. Yeah. And then I just started clipping girls off and just kept putting in time. I mean, I was just holding the watts that I was supposed to hold, and the wind was at our back, so it felt great, like just cranking it out, going out there. And then I was getting to the turnaround. I had no idea what place I was in because I didn't know what place I was in coming out of the water. So there was no point in counting the girls I was passing because I had no idea. I could have been, in 13th place. I could have been, who knows. So So I kept looking because it's an out and back. I kept looking for the girls coming back from the turnaround, and I knew that it was going to be Daniela Reef. I mean, she was going to win this race. I think everyone predicted that at least. So I was looking for her, and I didn't see her. I had these guys coming by, and didn't see her, and it's like maybe I missed her. Because I was starting and I could see the turnaround where everyone was turning around. I was like, I had to have missed her because there's no way that I'm this close to her. So I
so back to
the So then I saw these two girls in red, and it ended up being Daniela and Caroline. But I was like, that looked like Daniela and Caroline, but that couldn't have been because I'm literally 30 seconds down from them.
Right.
And there's no way that I am 30 seconds down from the reigning world champion, at all. There's just no way. So I kind of brushed it off, but I was like, no, there's no way. And then coming back in, a guy yelled at me, and he was like, "You're third place woman." So I was like, oh, I guess that was Daniela and Caroline. So I on the way out to the turnaround, I had seen them, and I was like, oh, sweet. I'm going to catch these girls, so then we can all legal draft. Obviously, you still get draft savings even if you're 12 meters back.
Yeah.
So legal draft into the wind on the way back to transition. But I put in a surge too late, and they put in a surge when they saw me, and they, obviously got to transition before I did. But one of my crazy, stupid triathlon goals has always been to have a cyclist with me on the run. So to be one of the top three, just because it's fun to have that little, cyclist with you. It's kind of cool. So seeing that cyclist waiting for me as I came out of transition was just awesome and surreal, being in third place. And I did the first loop, staying in third place, and then Kaisa caught me during the start of the second loop. It was a 3-loop course for the run. She caught me during the second loop. We ran together for about a mile for half a loop. And then I think it's the third place male pro came by, and she took off with him. And it was like a 20-30 second per mile difference, minute per mile, seconds per mile difference between our speed and then the speed that she took. And I was like, there's no way that I'm holding that speed. I can't. So I said, see you later, and ended up fourth. So yeah, it was a good race.
Wow. That's really cool. Yeah, it is a goal to have the bicyclist with you.
Yeah.
Out of the way, third place female coming through. Right?
I know.
Work your way up to first.
He had a whistle, and so he would just blow this whistle all the time, and get us all around the path. So
wait, when I was doing, you're talking about the run. When I was doing the Ultra Baby run, Kai went and got a thing and strapped it to the front of his bicycle that said "First Place Male."
Oh, that's so awesome!
He did it without anybody. Emily didn't tell him to do it or anything. And I turned around and he had that on there, and he's like, "Look, Daddy!" And I thought it was so fun. I'm like I'm the only place male.
But that's so cool.
Yeah,
so
cool. You can just go run
that.
your own race and have.
He's a good guy. A good boy.
Yeah,
whatever.
He's a good boy. So this is really, really cool. Okay, so was that your most recent race? That just happened, right?
Yeah, that was a week ago.
So does that make you feel that's some really serious competition?
Yeah.
Right, and so you had some difficult races, right, this past year.
Yeah.
Going pro. I mean, that's pretty typical though, right? First year pro. You're in the big leagues, and you got to learn how they're doing it. It's a different style of racing, right?
It is totally different.
Yeah.
But I don't think that people realize how different the world is. I thought, okay, so it's going to be the same thing except faster, right? But it's feeling your way through it, and that's why I'm very, very grateful for David. And I mean, he has so much experience in the pro coaching field and whatnot, to have him help guide me through this crazy journey. So
how has your training changed? Is it more volume but easier, more volume about the same but with more intervals mixed in, more focus on this or more focus on that? What's going on?
So I mean, a couple of things that I've changed with him is that I do more strength training. I mean, my sister always wanted me to do strength training. I just didn't never do it. So I think I hold myself more accountable to someone who's not my sister than to, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, what does she know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, and yeah, I would question things, or I'd be like, yeah, I don't really feel like doing that. And
That's true.
stuff. So yeah, I could do more strength training, specific stuff, and then I don't have too much more volume than what I started doing with Meredith, my sister. Because we bumped up volume after I decided to go pro, so we were doing like, I don't know, around 20 hours a week, 22 hours a week. And so my volume isn't like that much higher. It's just intensity. I have a lot more intensity in my workouts than I did before. So,
but is it the case because now you don't have to show up at work like certain hours, you can make up for that intensity with more rest, like get more sleep when you need to?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I love it when people tell me, oh, well, all you have to do is train all day. So I was like, well, I have this little, like, 2-year-old. She's almost 3. She'll be 3 in April.
Mommy.
Yeah,
Mommy,
exactly.
Mommy.
Like, I can't just fall asleep whenever I want to, typically. So.
Yeah, that's true. Does she ever do the thing where she wants you to see something she's doing? I know she's only 2. Kai does it. Oh my God, it's so funny. He's like, Daddy, 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 Daddy. And then you're like, what? And you look, and he's like, he gives you a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Like, what was that?
Yeah.
Or he wants to show you like one single Lego piece, but it's yellow. Like, okay,
yeah.
That's great.
Yes. Yeah. Well, really what she does, her new thing these last couple weeks is like, Mommy, and she'll like, Mommy, come here, and she'll come over and she'll grab my hand and like take me to, and she's like, okay, now draw. Like, yeah. So, yeah. I know what I want you to do. Now do it.
That's funny. All right. Okay, so I got a question about pros. Who's your female pro role model? Like, what pro would you say that you're trying to be the most like in certain areas? It could be like a combo of pros, like Wellington's performance, somebody else's like
charisma.
Yeah, like charisma, or like execution of professionalism or something like that. Traveling, like this person, or if you put some people together, who are your role models? And
oh, that's a hard question.
Who are your favorite pros and like why?
Well, the thing is that I'm so new to the sport that I mean my sister, my friends make fun of me all the time for not knowing these people, and I mean I've gotten obviously a lot better through this last year and even through these last couple months of knowing my competition and knowing who they are and those things, but I still don't feel like I know the pro fields that well. I mean, obviously I think Rinny is awesome. I mean, being world champion that many times is just awesome, and her being an awesome runner. I love running, and running has always been my strength in triathlon, even though Dubai my bike was stronger than my run, but running has always been my strength, and that's like I said, I have some random crazy weird triathlon goals, and one of my triathlon goals would be to be able to break her run course record in Kona one year.
Oh wow, cool. That's a good goal. Yeah.
Why not? One of those crazy random goals. We'll see if it happens, but throwing it out there. So I really like her, and I think that I met Meredith Kessler last year in New Zealand, and she is very good at media approach and that type of professionalism. She is so well spoken. I wish I could talk like she can. She is just very well spoken. And
you can come on the ZenTri podcast and practice. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
We'll let you do that.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And then, I mean, so it's funny, but like two of the athletes that David coaches, they're guys, but Matt Hansen and Cody Beals, they're both just, I mean, Cody is just fun, and he's just such a fun-loving guy. And his personality is just amazing, and Matt's professionalism I wish I could emulate. He's very serious about his sport and very serious about all the little things that need to happen to play out right to make dreams come true. So
All right, last little blurb in here. I want to give a shout out to Chris Haig Racing. Chris Haig Racing. Check him out on the internet. Type in Chris and then add Haig, Hague, and then type in racing and then type search. Hit the search button on the Googles and you'll get to Chris Haig Racing. And he is a wonderful coach. Used to race at University of the South at Sewanee and track. And that is critical to good race performance. Great attitude, great coach, really got his act together. Make sure that you go and check him out. But only check out Chris Haig Racing after you hear my blurb at the end of this podcast where I'm saying that I am available to hire for one more athlete. I've got one slot available. I can take on a coaching client right now. And I can only take one. So get your name in the queue and let me know. And that is at texafornia@gmail.com. Let me know. And then after you've let me know that you need a coach, then you can contact Chris, okay? I got to look after number one over here. But, by the way, Chris is awesome. And he's a fantastic coach. And he's actually beaten me at a race. So put that in your back pocket and think about it. Okay, ChrisHaigRacing.com. Go check him out, and let's get back to our interview with Jocelyn. Here we go.
Let's wrap it up with telling us how your bike is set up. I always find this fascinating, how different successful triathletes arrange their gear on their bike. So, like, for example, because what you do is so helpful, to give other people ideas.
Yeah.
There's people that, like on their bike computer, they hide their watts, for example, so they go more by feel, right? And so that they don't chase watts, and then go too hard.
Yeah.
There's people who do a water bottle pretty much for every hour, like their fuel mixed so that it's like really liquid, like, so it's easy to digest.
Right.
And they'll put on, for an Ironman, 3 water bottles for the first, 2.5 hours, 2 hours or whatever, until they get to special needs, and then pick up 2-3 more water bottles. They're all fuel bottles, right?
Right.
But some people will do all their fuel concentrated, into like 1 or 2 bottles.
Yeah.
And then just kind of add water as they go. So like I'm talking about down to the point of like when you come out of the water and you get on your bike, like where on your handlebars do you like to keep your bike computer so you can see? Do you keep it where like up near your wrists where you can see it all the time? Or do you keep it further back where you don't look at it as much? Or how do you like it?
Yeah, so that's interesting you ask about that because my power meter, it's a Stages power meter.
Mm-hmm.
And they have, the Garmin 910 and 920
Mm-hmm.
don't like pick up the Stages very well.
Yeah.
So they said it was because it was like a triathlon specific watch that it doesn't pick up very well.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't have it on my wrist or it drops my power like every like 20 seconds.
Right.
So I had to put it on like my hoods like of my aero bars.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like right next to my elbow basically, down below. And strapped to my bike because I didn't have a different bike computer. So that's where I typically kept it, until just actually this week I had a friend who was trying to get rid of a Garmin 500. So I just bought that off of him to put on my bike, which will go. I have an aero bottle like right in between my aero bars,
mm-hmm.
and the Garmin have a connection thing that will snap right into the aero bottle on my aero bars, so it'll sit right there for me. So yeah, so that was a very horrible thing to try to unlatch my watch from my bike
mm-hmm.
as I came into transition
mm-hmm.
in Dubai, like trying to make sure I didn't drop my watch
mm-hmm.
and get it off at the same time. But in terms of what I set my watch up with, I actually set it up with a 10-second average for my watts, a big number right on top. And then I have the time and distance in the 2 boxes underneath.
Mm-hmm.
So I know, how much time I've gone, and then if there's a turnaround, how soon that's going to come up and different things like that. So I do like seeing my, excuse me. I do like seeing my watts because that's what I train off of the
mm-hmm.
whole time. And that's something that I learned last year in my racing is that I need to race how I train. And if I train by feel, then I would race by feel. But if I train by watts, then I'm going to race by watts.
Okay.
why change anything on race day?
Oh yeah. Don't do that.
So like that's why I do the same breakfast, same everything. It's going to be the same for race day. So yeah, train off my watts or race off my watts. I do hide my heart rate. I
really?
don't. Yeah. Well, actually, in Dubai, I didn't even wear a heart rate monitor.
Okay. Why?
Well, because mine broke before I left.
Oh, well, there's that.
So I mean, my coach was like, "Well, you can borrow mine," but I was like, I'm not even going to look at it. So why does it matter? It does. I mean, we could look at it after and see, but I'm not going to even look at it, so it doesn't matter. I think heart rate to me has everyone's different, and heart rate to me has a more emotional, I don't know, connection with it. And so if I see like a heart rate of, in the 160s and, but I was feeling fine, and I was feeling like, oh, this is fine. Like I'm not having issues at all. But then I saw that heart rate and then I'm like, oh, but I should feel like horrible. So, so now I do feel horrible.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to psych myself out with that. So I don't look at that and I don't wear that. So, and I chafe off of my heart rate monitor a lot anyways. So it was good not to have it. And then in terms of nutrition, I do, like I said, like all new liquid nutrition. So for the half in Dubai, what I did is I had 2 bottles of liquid nutrition, and then I had 1 bottle of water on my bike. And the bottles held like 260 calories in them.
Yeah.
And so I did each of those. I basically, and I ended up averaging like right around 300 calories, right under 300 calories an hour for the bike because, old habits die hard, right? And I had sour geckos. So they're like just like sour gummy worms, but I had sour geckos on the bike as well.
Because you're in Dubai. Geckos.
Exactly. I had to do gummy worms desert style. So, I had sour geckos on the bike. I spaced those out like in between the bottles of liquid nutrition and throughout the race and stuff. So I didn't have like a huge like sugar high off of them or anything, but it was added calories, added nutrition. So averaged around 300. For a full, I'll do the same type of thing, but I'll average I'll average above 300 for a full per hour of liquid nutrition on the bike. And then on the run, I do chews. I just like some gummy chews for the run. This last race, I did bog breaker gummy chews for the run. And that was a learning experience from this last race is that I only had like 180 calories for the run. And so my coach was like, yeah, we needed to bump that up. So I'm going to bump that up in my training and train my stomach to be able to handle more than that. I mean, I think I can handle more than that, but I bogged a little bit at the end. So, yeah.
Let's talk about this gummy thing a little bit. So how do you find, I think a lot of people don't know this, but you think the gummies could actually kind of be as fast or slow as you want, right? Because you can just kind of hold them in your mouth and slowly trickle the calories, or you can chew them up real quick and then get them right to your stomach, and then they'll digest faster, or what?
Yeah, it is simple sugar and stuff, but I would have to look up the research study. But actually, one of my friends sent this research study to me about having sugar in your mouth. That like somehow will turn that not that thought process, but almost when you're bonking and you're feeling your mind is telling your body I can't go anymore, it will turn or at least elongate that time until your mind tries to shut your body down. It will elongate that if you just have that sugar in your mouth and your body, even though you might not be swallowing it and digesting it, it's in your mouth and your body thinks that it's getting more energy and it thinks that it's going to have energy so it can keep going and it doesn't need to be scared and shut down. So
it's something like along the lines of the central governor theory, where your brain will shut down your body before your body's actually needing to be shut down. And so if your brain knows that there's sugar coming, it'll go, okay, we can keep going.
Exactly.
That's
like
crazy.
Trying to elongate that central governor. Yeah. So, I mean, my coach for this next ride that I have going tomorrow, he was like, and use real nutrition, not candy. So yeah, I mean,
Well, but I mean, still, that's not. I don't think that's too bad of a nutrition gimmick or tool. I mean, gummies are. I mean, and jelly beans. I mean, around the world, lots of pros use those strategically. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, so honestly, why I started using jelly beans
Uh-huh.
is I'm probably the cheapest triathlete that you will ever meet.
Uh-huh.
And
I don't know. You're running at least with shoes. I ran without shoes for a long time to save money. It is worse.
Well, yes, but I've always gotten my shoes for free, so
Yeah, that's true.
doesn't really count when they're free. So, but I started training. Obviously, my long rides for Texas were right around April.
Uh-huh.
So that's right around Easter time when all of the jelly beans come out.
Yeah.
And so, like, right after Easter, like, the bags of jelly beans, they were, like, 25 cents for a bag. I was like, cheapest nutrition out there, right? Like, fuel 2 long rides with, like, a bag of jelly beans for 25 cents. So.
Oh, you know what? That reminds me. Let's wrap it up with you telling us how do you eat on like a day-to-day basis? Like, if you had to describe your diet, like, where would it fall? Like, you just eat, like, whole foods, or you kind of eat whatever? Or
Yeah, it's mostly whole foods. So I am both gluten-free and dairy-free because of different medical reasons. 2 autoimmune diseases I have. I have celiacs, and so with that, like, whole foods are just a lot easier because I mean gluten-free foods like refined foods at the store are just ridiculously expensive. I mean, it's like,
and they usually taste terrible.
yeah, I mean, I have my favorites, like Snyder's Pretzels makes a gluten-free pretzel that are good.
Oh, Snyder's is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
great. They make those jalapeno pretzels that are just ridiculously good.
Yeah, well, they make the honey mustard.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Yeah, and that it's gluten-free, and I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So my daughter prefers gluten-free pretzels, oddly enough.
Huh.
It's weird. And then, like, Pamela's brand, I love them, and just these different brands, you find them. But anyway, so for the most part, though, it's a lot easier to just eat whole foods that are, naturally gluten-free. I mean, I guess, like, so, like, for day-to-day, like, in the morning, right now at least, I'm eating, like, a muffin or 2 before a workout that I do in the morning. Go work out, come back and have, like, a real breakfast. I'll do, like, eggs and veggies and stuff. Sometimes put eggs over oatmeal, which I actually grind my own oats because they taste better that way.
Okay, yeah.
And then, like, another workout. Lunch will typically be a salad with some protein on it. Another workout if I have another one. And then, like, a snack. I do a lot of bananas with almond butter is, like, probably my favorite snack I have. And then dinner, just, like, protein and veggies. I mean, tonight we had tacos, which I didn't have any corn tortillas or anything, so I just had, like, a taco salad. So, yeah.
Are you? I'm finding all this high fat, low carb, stuff really interesting. All the metabolism, engineering your own metabolism to be more to burn more fat, and I find it like it's really fascinating. People, because there's ways to eat, but then there's also taking into consideration if you're a triathlete, you're burning through so many calories, right? So you got to be really careful with saying you're cutting back on something because, man, you need all the calories you can get for certain stuff. So
yes.
Do you go out of your way to add more fat into your diet, or do you go out of your way to add in more carbs, or you leave those the same and don't think about them, and you just go out of your way to add in more protein, or what do you do?
So I've tracked my nutrition on just like the normal, like, whatever, my MyFitnessPal or something app.
Yeah.
And typically I don't get enough protein, so I don't track it every day right now. But so I would just make sure that I just whenever I have a choice to add protein in something, I make sure I get some more protein. And I mean, I'm not shy with using oil and whatnot in my cooking. I mean, I did like some, a bell pepper with onion, garlic stir fry thing for our tacos this evening. And I love using avocado oil, and I love using olive oil.
I need to get some of that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get avocado oil really cheap at Costco.
Yeah. I can't believe I've never really used it because I love avocados. And
yeah. Oh my gosh, it's a really good flavor. And actually, I love popping popcorn with avocado oil. It gives it this really good, just I don't know, this nutty flavor to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't need anything else on it besides salt, so it's really good. So yeah, I mean, I don't go out of my way to go and eat more fat or more, anything, well, more protein. But, I'm not shy about having a lot of fat and a lot of oil and almond butter, in my diet. So.
Well, cool. Let's give a shout out to some of your sponsors and sign off. Who you racing with this year? You said you've got XR Cell, which I can look up as
for my liquid nutrition.
Who's giving you your shoes?
My shoes are coming from a local running store here called Buckeye Running Company. My bike is a Quintana Roo bike, so I'm so lucky to be with them this year.
Yeah.
And then all my bike work is done by a local bike shop here, Reeser Bicycle. And then I'm also with trisports.com. They're awesome because I've bought a lot of stuff from them in the past.
Yeah, because they have everything.
They have everything you would ever want.
That's what you want. I remember somebody was talking about Craig Alexander, going from Specialized. He picked up a different bike sponsor, Argon, right?
Yeah.
Argon 18. They're like, I said in this thread, I said, that's great because I love Argons. They're beautiful, these beautiful bikes. But what you got to remember is Specialized makes everything. So you get sponsored by Specialized, you get helmet,
everything,
bike pumps, shoes, gloves, jerseys. Like they make everything. So being sponsored by Trisports.
Right.
Is it Trisport or Trisports.com? I can't remember.
Trisports with an S.
Trisports.com. That's the big website, right? Where you order everything.
Yeah.
Holy
Swim, bike, rent, shop. So.
Wow. Swim, bike, rent, shop.
That's their little
I know,
tagline or whatever.
That's so cool. Well, that's awesome. All right.
Yeah. And then I also have another partnership with Audio Flood. They're a waterproof iPod shuffle.
Yeah.
For swimming or even for, riding when you're sweaty.
Sweatproof, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because I have a friend who I think she's killed 5 of them, 5 non-waterproof ones because of sweat.
I used to do that all the time.
Yeah.
Kill them. I wonder why.
Bonk breaker bars. Blue 70, and then my physio here is Beyond Exercise. And then my very first sponsor that I ever got was Trigger Point. The Trigger Point balls and rolling, just self-massage techniques.
Yeah,
so.
I've had some of that. That stuff really works. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thanks for coming on the show. Did I forget anything? Anything you want to say out there?
You didn't ask me what my pro goals were. That was one of your questions.
What are your pro goals? Well, you wanna try to beat Rennie's run time at Kona.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what else do you want to do?
I also want a podium at Kona, which I would hope would happen if I beat Rennie's run time.
Yeah, that'd probably fall right in there.
Right.
Yeah, podium at Kona. That's
right. I mean, these are all not this year goals, but in the future goals.
Yeah.
I'm 28, so I have time.
Maybe a little time.
Yeah, and then I also want to be the fastest American woman. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking. I think Angela Nath. She doesn't count as American. She still counts as Canadian.
I think so.
Yeah, and I think next year. I thought this year she was gonna probably be, in the contention to win it. I forgot what happened though. She had either an injury.
She had a foot issue. Yeah, she had a foot injury.
And boy, you talk about being injured one year, just lights a fire under your butt for the next year. You're like pissed.
Right.
Yeah, you watch out for her next year.
Well, Ironman Texas, she said she's gonna try to come back and defend her title. So
that was her ticket, right? This year, so or last year, to get to Kona was winning that race. That's going to be the national, or that's going to be the
North American Championship.
Right? So you win that, you can you get right into Kona.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, so it's going to be you versus Angela. Oh
and lots of other pros.
Yeah. Wow, this is going to be rad. It's going to be great. I'm not racing that this year. I might go watch. And,
yeah, that'd be awesome. You should come
cheer
watch.
y'all on. And I remember I was running it. I remember Rachel Joyce ran by, and I stopped and go, "Holy crap, it's Rachel Joyce!" I'm not much help. I'm just in such awe of people.
Yeah, and Leanda Cave was there last year.
Yeah.
It brings some good names.
Impressive.
I mean, it has some good money, so.
That too. Well, best of luck, and
Thank
we
you.
want you back on and tell us how your year's going, and maybe we could have you on again and tell us about like the women's side of racing, like the whole 50 women qualifying for Kona.
Yeah.
You know, like your viewpoint on that, and kind of like how you're progressing as a pro, and like strategies for you know, how trying to get to Kona. Not revealing your strategy per se, but like what it's like. It'd be a cool show topic. We'd love to hear.
Yeah, I would love to.
All right. Well, cool. Well, thank you so much.
No problem.
And I'll talk to you soon, all right?
Okay. Awesome. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Thank you so much, Jocelyn, for the great interview. You can go definitely check her out. I'm going to put links to all of her social media stuff on the podcast website, ZenTriathlon.com. And I'm really excited about this Jocelyn versus Angela in the 8th at Ironman Texas. I'm going to go try to get to that one and go check it out in person. I didn't register for Ironman Texas this year. I thought I'd go watch 1 year. Maybe learn something by watching what happens out there instead of just being in the mix all the time. And take Kai with me and show him what's going on in the race and really explain it to him as he's seeing it. It'd be pretty neat. All right. Oh, man, there was one piece of news I forgot to mention at the beginning. I don't know if I really forgot it or just didn't want to think about it, but Dave Mira passed away. Supposedly, it's hard to tell, you know, because stories leak out and they're trying to figure out the cause of things. They think by shooting himself, by suicide. And that's really bizarre. He's only like 41 or maybe 42 years old. He's in my age group. I was doing Galveston a couple years ago, and this guy blew by me on the bike, and it was odd that somebody went past me so fast on the bike, and I was like, who is that? And because if he was that good on the bike, he should have been that good on the swim too. You know, you'd think he'd be more well-rounded. And turned out it was Dave Mira just getting a triathlon. So he's the like 10 times X Game gold medal champion, retired from that stuff. And so that would make him more than incredible on the bike. And he was figuring out the swim, getting better at the swim, and getting better at the run. Every race, and was really coming on as an awesome age grouper. He's so famous that I believe he was probably offered a slot to go to Kona without having to qualify, because Kona Ironman would love to have him there at the race as a celebrity, and he turned it down and or let them know that he wasn't interested. I don't know if they ever offered it to him or not, but he wanted to qualify as an age grouper, which is extremely difficult to do, but he thought, do it right, and that just speaks volumes about what a cool guy this was. I never spoke with him personally, but I think I was around him a couple of times, and he kind of hangs around in the same circles as with Ben Hobbs and Jeff. I need to talk to Jeff Fields about this. See if they know each other and offer emotional support. It's really bizarre. There's a small possibility that it could be from CTE, which is that brain disease that you get from having too many concussions that you hear about in the NFL, and you're like, well, how did he do that? Doing BMX and that kind of stuff. Well, they jump these ramps and they go way up in the air, and then they fall down and smack their head. Even though they're wearing a helmet, they smack their head a lot. So that would be an explanation. And there's a million other things out there. It's just really sucky, really, really sucky and really sad. He has a wife and I think 2 little kids. And yeah, it's just a real a real sad story all the way around. And about depression and about taking your own life, there is something where we have a little bit of a social stigma, at least in the United States, where it's embarrassing to be depressed and you don't want to admit it, and then so you don't seek help, and you then it goes too far, right? And then people end up hurting themselves or killing themselves or harming others. And we can really work on that as a culture. It's a cultural thing that we're embarrassed, that we're depressed. And everybody needs to know out there. Tell yourself, tell your friends, listen to what I'm about to say, that being depressed is totally normal and a natural process that you can get into. You can get into a funk over life or over, a whole bunch of different things. And it can really bum you out, and it can get out of control. And you shouldn't feel bad about it. It's not necessarily your fault that things have gotten like that. And you need to get help to get out of that funk as soon as possible. And you should not feel like a loser or like you're failing somehow to the point where you won't ask for help. I felt depressed a few years ago. I think I wasn't eating enough, and I was doing all this training and probably going a little bit too low carb, and that'll put you into a funk. And I think Christine Lynch or somebody had said that they had recently got into a funk and they knew better than to just try to deal with it on their own because it was too much, and they went and got on antidepressants as soon as they could, and then they felt better, and then they kind of figured out what was going on in their life, and then fixed that, and then eventually got off antidepressants. And so I did the exact same thing by example, by somebody else, just like I'm doing right now, telling you that if you feel really down and blue and it's not your normal personality, and it's just really ruining your day in and day out life, consider going to a doctor and asking them for antidepressants to lift your mood as a quick fix, as like a Band-Aid. And then when that repairs you and you feel a little bit better, and you kind of level out, while that's happening, try to figure out what is going on in your life that you're doing that's making you so depressed. Is it where you're living? Is it your job situation? Is it what you're eating? Is it your lifestyle? Is it a relationship? And then work on getting that fixed. And then when you start getting that fixed, then maybe take yourself off of whatever stuff that you're on. And you know what? I'm not a doctor or a psychologist or a psychiatrist or anything like that. So take that with a grain of salt. Everything I've said just now. Just know that don't be embarrassed that you're depressed, and don't let it go on too long, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Especially don't be afraid to ask for help. Because once it gets bad enough, you're not thinking straight anymore, and you will make dumb, bad, horrible decisions that you would have never made if you were in your right mind, because it's kind of like a brain injury. You're not thinking straight, and then you'll do something that you would regret the rest of your life if you were alive, and it's just really, really sad. So that's my little PSA out there, is don't let depression get out of control, and don't be embarrassed about it. Just look how sad everybody is about Dave Mirra, and everybody's wishing that Dave just would have said something to us, and we would have all jumped in to help him out. So just say something. Say something. Oh, and if you suspect somebody's depressed, say something to them and really talk to them and try to get them to open up, and suggest that there's ways out of it. Okay? All right. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to mention, before we get into the training log, this stuff called 33 Shake, which we had Luke Taberski on a few episodes ago, talking about his ultimate triathlon, 12 days long of triathloning across Southern Europe. And he mentioned 33 Shake. Well, 33 Shake called me up and said, hey, we want you to try out some of our gels. And I did. And they were really cool. So the contents of a gel packet from 33 Shake are dry. And then you put in water and then you shake it up. And I guess maybe there's 33 ingredients or something like that, but it's mostly chia seeds and then a little bit of natural sugars and vanilla flavoring. And you shake it up, and then after 10 minutes, it's ready to eat. And chia seeds turn into kind of like a gel right after, or about 10 minutes after you get them wet. And I did a 3-hour workout. I did 2 hours on the bike. No, 3.5 hour workout. I did 2.5 hours on the bike, or 2:15 on the bike, and 1:15 on the run, all continuous on 33 shake gels, and then I added a little bit of maple syrup for some extra calories in there. And man, I had a wonderful workout. I felt really full and good the entire time, and that's because chia seeds have a little bit of fat in them. But anyway, I want to give a shout out to 33 Shake for sending those my way. That was really cool. And we should mention that they are tied in a little bit with Chrissy Wellington. And Chrissy Wellington doesn't take no crap from nasty food. She's, what is she, the 4-time Ironman world champion? And she just had a baby. And anyway, so the ingredients are top notch, just like Chrissy. Okay, let's go ahead and do donations to the show. And I don't think I have any emails to answer, but I do have a whole bunch of donations because I think I forgot to mention them last episode. So let's just go through them real quick. Let me pull them up here. We've got M. Webb, Erica Dennison, Peter Salzin, Dwayne Morin, Simon Wright, Daniel Clemens, Brett Hoyer, Houston Marsh, El Sonyor, Michael Rodogna, Nathaniel Lebec, Richard Trago, Nicholas Ekholm, who sent in a message, and he said, "Hi, new on the show, and thanks for bringing inspiration to the sport. Maybe a triathlete someday? ? Keep it going! ! Dude, maybe a triathlete someday. Of course you can be, dude. Anybody can be a triathlete. You start off with a sprint, then if you like it, which you will, then you do some Olympics, and man, you can stop at Olympics. Olympics are 2.5 hours, 3 hours long. That is enough of an endurance sport right there. But then if you want to go bigger, you go half Ironmans. And then if you really want to go nuts, then you do full Ironmans. And then if you're insane, you can someday do an ultra, man. It'd be pretty cool. Okay, those are... I'm going to mention some more donations here in a second, but you can donate to the show and get your name mentioned on the show at ZenTriathlon.com on the left-hand side? On the left-hand side, there's a way to donate. You can do a recurring donation, which is it's less than $4 a month. And then that way you're really helping support the show for as long as you want. And let's say you don't want to do it anymore. You can go cancel it. And then you can also do a one-time donation. And either way, I mention your name on the show. It's super easy to do. It's by PayPal on the left-hand side. You'd be crazy not to. And let's see. Last episode, I think I forgot to mention the donations, and I had a bunch of them. So Allison Frutos, Matthew Frois, Houston Marsh, Alexander Bramage, Ken Soderquist, El Senor, Chad Jamrazi. Maybe I did mention these. Simon Wright, Daniel Clinton, Richard Stewart, Hun Chu. Yeah, I mentioned all these. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get started with the training log. Oh, we need to talk about Hornet Juice. So the other way to help support the show is to get some Hornet Juice. This is so funny. It's a protein powder, an amino acid. It's the same thing. When people say amino acids, those are the building blocks of protein. It's really the same thing. And it's an amino acid powder that you can add to your fuel while you're working out. And what it does is it signals your body to uptick your fat metabolism while working out. There's all this, I got podcasts in my queue I want to list to you right now. It's all about metabolism, burn more fat, which actually works, and you can break yourself of sugar all the time by eating more fat. And another way to do it is to put this amino acid mix in your fuel, and it will turn on your fat burning, which is really cool. And it's called Hornet Juice. It's on the right-hand side. It comes out of New Zealand. And when you order it through ZenTri, I get a tiny little bit up off the top, and the rest of it goes to Hornet Juice. And to you, because you get packets of Hornet Juice. It's really cool. And it helps support the show. So it's really cool because think about this. You get something for you. You get something to help your favorite podcast, and you get something to show off to your friends. Like you got this crazy stuff. So it's based on the saliva. This is so crazy. It's based on the saliva of the Japanese killer hornet, which is the largest flying bug that covers the longest distance. So it's watts per kilogram going on right there. So it's heavy, big bug that flies super far. And how does it do it? It's this amino acid blend it's in its saliva. They figured out in a lab, and when they take that same ratio of amino acids and give it to humans and put it in their fuel while they work out, they can work out longer and faster because they're metabolizing their own body fat. You know, you don't see a wasp flying around or Japanese killer hornet drinking Gatorade. No, it's metabolizing its own body fat for a huge amount of power. It's really crazy how it works. And speaking of that, I just got a tweet just a few hours ago from somebody that said, first run, this is from HNX Legion. He said, ZenTriathlon, first run with Hornet Juice today. Wow. ... Just wow. 16 miles and never once felt tired. Almost weird. Hashtag next generation nutrition. Hashtag ultra. So what people do when they get Hornet Juice is a lot of times they try out, the 10-pack is the smallest pack first. And what's so funny is they order a 10-pack and then they come back and order like 30 or 50 because they're like, holy crap. And it's a whole lot of bang for your buck because one packet lasts an hour and a half. So you can do a 3-hour workout and only use 2 packets. It's pretty cool. And it tastes a little bit like grapefruit and it mixes in with your fuel. And it's really, really simple. It's really cool. And I also have to warn people, it is not intended to use for sex. That is not on the packaging. Endurance athletes getting together and having sex is already as dangerous as it is because I don't know when they know when to stop. And then to give them Hornet Juice on top of that could be majorly destructive, and you will lose the deposit on your apartment. So don't do that. I'm warning you now. But otherwise, go to ZenTriathlon.com, go to the right-hand side, and click on the Hornet Juice logo. It is purple and yellow. Go check it out. It's awesome. Hornet Juice, sting the competition. All right, let's go ahead and get into the training log. Best part of the show, besides everything else, where I take you with me training. I talk about, stuff on the bike, how to use more torque and lower your heart rate to get in a different style of working out. I cover that ad nauseum, which is always cool. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Here we go.
You are entering the ZenTri training log zone. Huneli.
Hi everybody, my name's Brett. I'm a triathlete. Hi Brett.
I decided it's time I got some friends more suited to my status.
But Joe, we've been friends for years.
Hey, we all make mistakes. Come on, dudes, let's go exercise! Exercise! Yeah! I'm gonna do sit-ups till I poop myself!
Well, howdy ho, and welcome to another training log. All right, it is start date February 10th. I'm surprised I know that without looking at my watch. I know it because I've been looking at my watch a lot because I've been having all kinds of technical problems because my iPhone pooped the bed, as we say on a family-friendly podcast. And getting it replaced took like 2-3 days because FedEx won't deliver it unless you're at your house. Well, I can't be at my house because I got to be at work, and it just goes on and on. But funny thing is, I was on campus at Texas A&M University involved. I had to give a talk and stuff like that. And I was walking across campus with no phone and, walking from parking. It's this huge campus. It's like 50, 60,000 student campus. So it's like a city. And with nothing to distract myself and in the cold, just walking. And I literally felt like it was 1995 where I'm just walking across campus and I've gone back in time where I have no technology to distract me from the reality of what I'm doing. And that has been really interesting. And also in the meantime, I had recordings. I had really cool training log recordings about what I've been doing, training, how I've been recovering and stuff. And they're all lost because I had to restore my phone from a backup, but the backup was a few weeks old. And of course I record all the time. And so the most recent ones are gone, dead and gone, but I'm going to practice letting go. Breathe in, breathe out. Steve Jobs. Hardware failure. Okay, then let's see. I've been having so much fun training on Zwift because of my my tattoo means you can't swim. So because you can't swim, then I'm spending more time biking and running, and not in the water as much. You can't swim with a fresh tattoo because it'll get infected or something like that. And then or you might affect other people, most importantly, with your craziness. They don't want to scare people. They're like, oh, look, this dude with a tattoo, he's dangerous. But the the thing is, I was going to the gym instead of swimming and doing cable pulls. And you can do a cable pull with a handle and get down on your knees and do high elbow, kind of like you're doing a freestyle catch. It's really, really cool. And work on that. So when I got back to swimming, I was actually pretty stout. And then, let's see. But the biking and running was really starting to wear me out aerobically. Get up in the morning and throughout periods of the day having trouble trying to catch my breath. And just kind of struggling in general. So I've backed off of that and instead just going easy and doing torque instead. So mixing in sessions of a heavy gear, or now that I am back swimming, mixing in hand paddles. So this morning's swim was 10 minutes easy, 10 minutes with hand paddles. 10 minutes easy, 10 minutes with hand paddles. 10 minutes easy, 10 minutes with hand paddles. That ends up to be an hour. And I don't count the time putting on the hand paddles because it takes like a minute each time. Not a minute, maybe half a minute. But that's not working out, so I stopped my watch. And the cool thing about torque, like a heavier gear or running up a hill or whatever, you can really work your muscles without driving up your aerobic heart rate. That's an odd description. But without stressing your lungs as much, you stress your muscles. And you can give your lungs a break and your heart a break and just be working your muscles instead and improving those, which is a really cool way to improve or kind of mix things up. Hold on, let me put it on pause, going through a school zone. All right, back. And so I've noticed my aerobic struggling has really calmed down quite a bit. Now I'm just chilling. Jeff Honing with livingfuel.com helped me out with a tip about how to tape my foot to relieve plantar fasciitis, and it really works. You just make an X on the bottom of your foot and then wrap it a little bit more. And you can see videos like this online everywhere. It's really cool, and that's been helping me recover faster from running as well. And I've been messing around with potato starch as a fuel, and it seems to really, really work. Raw and unmodified potato starch is essentially the same thing as UCAN. It's a resistant starch. It's 100% resistant starch. And it's that's what UCAN is. It's the same thing. But the cool thing is potato starch is you can go get it at the grocery store, and it costs. I busted out the calculator and calculated, pennies per ounce. Or in this case, it's like, in potato starch it's pennies per ounce, and in UCAN it's dollars per ounce or gram or whatever. But potato starch is literally, I've said that twice now on this podcast, 1/10 the price of UCAN. So I'm trying to figure out this whole resistant starch riddle, and as I learn more, I'll put it forth to you about how it works. It is very, very interesting. I have some very good workouts, but also the bacteria in your gut that chew up the resistant starch, if you don't have enough of them, then you get, or they're not efficient at it, you get byproduct, which is gas, which is farting. And I only get it sometimes, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on there. And as I nail it down a little bit more, I'll spread the word on how this all works. But it seems to be going really, really well. And then another thing I've been trying is avocado oil. So avocado oil is supposedly healthier for you than even olive oil. It's got like more. It's got the same makeup of types of oil, and but then it's got more nutrition in it. So like the vitamins and I don't know, whatever, maybe minerals in it is even better, like a lot better than olive oil, which is interesting. And it hardly tastes like anything. It's a really light, almost flavorless, delicious oil. And instead of butter in your coffee or something like that, you could put in avocado oil or add it to your everything. And along that note, I've been doing way more fat in my diet to try to become more fat burning and fewer carbs. And that's an art in itself that I'm trying to do very carefully, because we do not want to get into an eating disorder, and we do not want to get into not eating enough. So it's difficult. And basically you got to eat too much, and then slowly too much of everything, and then back off of the thing you're trying to get rid of. I'm trying to come up with a name for this technique, but it's kind of like backing it in. You know, you overshoot and then back down, and without depriving yourself. So too many calories coming in from fat. That way you've got enough calories, and then slowly start pulling away the carbs. That would be instead of a lot of times when we diet or try to eat better, we remove things, but then we're not eating enough overall, and then it's not sustainable. You know, it makes you kind of miserable. And am I in the right parking spot? I don't think I am. I'm gonna move. So don't want to park in the boss's spot. He always parks here, and there's another car that's just next to it that looks like his, but I don't think it is his. Now I'm trying to steer with my left hand. Oh, so I got a broken arm report. I'm actually steering now with my left hand. How about that? But man, it hurts. But man, does swimming with paddles really work it really good. Nowhere near where I want to be, but and the doctor says I may never be, which is really depressing and sad. But I had a good run with my left arm, and I've still got one arm left, and so we'll see how it goes. And also, I think that's it. We got plenty more to cover. Lots of good workouts happening with no sugar involved whatsoever, and no OSs, fructose, sucrose, and all that stuff. But anyway, I don't want to recommend anything until I know what I'm doing more. But it does seem to be working. But seem is not actual reality, and we'll talk more in a bit. All right, bang. All right, homies. I wanted to give y'all a little bit of a workout idea. So let's say you're kind of tired of doing all the aerobic stuff and you want to improve your strength, because the thing that's going to slow you down the most in a longer event is the hills. Once your muscles fatigue out, if that's a phrase, then you're pretty much cooked, and your forward progress is going to be pretty lame. So one thing to work on, you can work on something and save something else at the same time, is low cadence, low RPM, high torque hill climbs. And so let's say, for example, what I did this morning was get on the bike, warm up 10 minutes easy, and then put it into a heavier gear than normal, and then work up a hill, quote unquote hill, for 10 minutes, and then go back to easy, and then 10 minutes heavy hard, and 10 minutes easy, then 10 minutes heavy hard. So you're doing 3 10-minute long hills in a heavy gear, not spinning up the hill, but working up the hill at a low RPM. Now see, if you were spinning up the hill, and that means a high cadence and low torque, then what you're doing is you're using your aerobic system to get up the hill, and not your muscles as much. Well, that's good. That works your aerobic system. But let's say you've done a lot of aerobic work lately, and you're like, you know what, aerobic isn't my problem. I want to be more powerful in my legs. So doing lower cadence, like somewhere between 70 and 80 RPM, will work those muscles, and doing it for 10 minutes straight will definitely do it. And doing it 3 times 10 minutes straight will definitely do it. Now, let's say you're a triathlete and you want to practice in the tri-bike position. 10 minutes can be a long time, and one way to break it up is, it's really not that long though, but mentally fatigue-wise, and you need to be working in the arrow position and in the sitting upright position, is you do 1 minute in the arrow position and then 1 minute sitting up, and then go 1 minute arrow position, 1 minute sitting up, and you keep alternating that for the 10 minutes. And by the end, you've done a lot of work in both the arrow, which makes your arrow position more powerful, and then also sitting up makes your sitting up position more powerful. And the really fascinating thing is if you're wearing your heart rate monitor, your heart rate strap, you can see that your heart rate doesn't actually climb up all that much. It'll go maybe to MAF, maybe just a little bit above MAF, which is 180 minus your age if you're fit, and you're like, oh, this is nice. I'm working the muscles without working my heart and my lungs so much. So I'm giving them a break while I'm working on my muscles instead. It's actually really, really cool. So those of you that are into the whole Maffetone style training where you don't want to drive your heart rate up too much, this is definitely one way to do it. It's really cool. And that goes back to swimming, where I was saying the last little entry was, hand paddles. Does the exact same thing. 10 minutes with hand paddles torques your arm muscles and your shoulders so that they're worked out pretty hard. Now let's talk about how you how do you do a 10-minute long hill? You're like, oh, I live in Flatonia, Texas, which is a real place. All the people are so cruel when they name that. And so I've got a friend that lives there. What's up, dude? And where do you find a 10-minute hill? No, you get on your trainer and you do a 10-minute long big gear session on the trainer. And you're like, oh, but I ride Zwift, and there is no 10-minute long hill. There's like a 3-minute long hill. Hold on, I need to pause for just a second. All right, I'm back. So I got a 3-minute hill. There's maybe a 5-minute hill. There's no place to do 10 minutes long. And it's like, yeah, but you don't have to do what's on the course. It's a video game. You can just change the gearing yourself and pedal up a hill. You just make a hill virtually just by putting in a bigger gear and pedaling at a lower cadence, in spite of what people are doing around you, in spite of what the video game is showing. And this goes back to one thing, one of the greatest prizes of long distance triathlon, learning to be successful at long distance triathlon, because you fail and you have bad results. You're like, what's going on? And then over and over again, somebody says, you got to learn to do the right thing in spite of what people are doing around you. It is one of the greatest. That's why triathlon, long course triathlon is, and especially long course, non-drafting triathlon is one of the greatest Zen teachers out there. Is you got to do the right thing in spite of what others are doing around you. So at the beginning of a race, people are taking off, going fast. And if you're smart, you're like, well, don't do that. But a newbie would be like, oh, everybody's going fast, I got to go fast too, right? So you can, you go running with a training group, well, everybody's going this speed. You need to be able to stand up for yourself and be a grown-up and say, no, you can run at an 8-minute mile. I need to run at a 10-minute mile today. You can run that way and run the same course all over again, but I'm going to go run this way and go run hills because I need to do hills today. And no, I'm not meeting up with the Hammerhead group on the bikes today. I'm going to take a rest day. And it's just on and on, the examples of not giving in the social pressure and doing the right thing. No, I'm not going to eat cupcakes again today, and I don't care that there's donuts in the break room. I'm going to do the right thing because those things aren't healthy for me. So, anyway, on the trainer, you can say, I'm going to do a 10-minute long session with, at a low cadence, higher torque, and higher output than what other people are doing around me. And the video game, doesn't tell your bike that you're going downhill. There is a way you can get a smart trainer to do that, but you can also turn your smart trainer off and go into dumb mode. I saw somebody on Zwift this morning saying that they were doing that. Okay, but anyway, that's how you get results. High torque, low cadence will work your muscles and will give your aerobic system a bit of a break. Now, if you see people out training, you see people doing low cadence all the time. You're out on a bike ride and you got, most people are sitting there, if you're just with novices and Cat 5, which is like Cat 6 is a big joke. Your slower cyclists, you'll see they're doing low cadence all the time, right? Well, they're never really working their aerobic system. And they don't know how to spin up a hill and save their leg muscles. So you don't do this all the time, is my point, is you do it when it's appropriate decision. All right, well, I got to go in, and we got work breakfast. I think we're going to have breakfast tacos, which is scrambled eggs, which is nice, fat and protein, and salsa and guacamole, and I've got my green smoothie already made up for today, and got some kale in it, kale, carrots, orange, banana, got some potato starch in it, and then what's the other thing? Bringing guacamole. Got guacamole for work that I can eat anytime I want. And I think that's it. So, all right, we'll be back in a minute. Out, bang. All right, let's go ahead and wrap up this show. Woo, just left the pool. I want to talk about just real quickly about that, and then also interview with Ian Sharman, and then about some coaching options. Okay, let's see. Swimming in the pool, 10 minutes easy. 10 minutes with paddles, which makes it hard. 10 minutes easy, 10 minutes with paddles. And then on the next 10 minutes easy, I'm going for an hour total. Now the next 10 minutes easy, I was like, man, you know what? I should mix up this hard. Instead of doing paddles, do butterfly. And I love butterfly because I find it difficult. So a few years ago, I interviewed the guy that swam butterfly across the English Channel. And I was so inspired that I went and swam butterfly across and back my local lake, which was 2.4 miles, and I did it in a full wetsuit. And I swam butterfly across La Jolla Cove and back, which is like maybe 2 miles. Yeah, man, I love freaking butterfly. I raced it some in high school and growing up as a kid, and found it. I was really good at it for about 25 yards, and then I would fall apart. So it's a flexibility thing. And man, once you settle in and get going easy, it works the shoulders. But once you find the technique, you can actually do a slow, easy turnover and work on your glide. And it really focuses flexibility in your shoulders, and which is good for freestyle. To get more and more flexibility, it focuses on your streamline. It focuses on your breathing technique. It focuses on your pull. It focuses on everything. So you do some butterfly, and all of a sudden freestyle seems really, really easy. Really easy. And that's what you want. Okay, so I did that, and that was really, and my Project Broken Wing, my broken arm, that I think is broken actually, when I broke it, was broken in several places. I think it was broken up in my wrist as well, and I think I had a hairline fracture in my forearm somewhere. And man, I felt that thing cracking and popping, and what it needs to be stressed to let the scar tissue not heal up too tight, so that it can straighten out more and be more flexible in the joints. So it was good. What I'm saying, it's a good thing. Really motivated from all that. And we have, yesterday I was cruising through my Twitter nets, killing time, and saw an interview with Ian Sharman. Ian Sharman is awesome. He's an ultra runner. And this interview on this podcast called Run on Om, O-M, like is Run on Om, is fantastic. Because once you get through all the hippity-dippity, touchy-feely stuff in the beginning, and he starts talking, it's a female host that's has this really pleasant voice, but it's almost too pleasant. It's distracting. It's so good. The Ian Sharman grew up playing team sports like soccer and lacrosse and rugby and just field hockey and just playing around, jumping around and whatever. And then I became an economist in London, and then started signing up when he was in his mid-20s. Started signing up for ultra marathons, and did okay. And then he talks about how he started changing up his training, and the next thing he knew, by training right, he has become the record holder in two major things, many things, many things. But I'll tell you the two major things: the fastest ultra 100-mile time in North America, and I was at that race. He ran the Rocky Raccoon 100 miles, which has 5,000 feet of elevation gain, right? So it's not dead flat. And it's on trails. He ran that thing in 12 hours and something minutes, I think. So it basically averaged like a low to mid 7-minute mile for 100 miles. And then he also did he's the record holder for the Grand Slam. And that's where you run the 4 biggest 100 milers. Oh, we got an accident up ahead. The 4 biggest 100 milers in North America. They're historic. And it is extremely difficult to get into this event. And what is going on up ahead? It's extremely difficult to get in some of the races because you have to win a lottery. And I'm looking at this traffic situation. It does not look good. Let me pause here and see what's up. I may not be able to go ahead. All right, looks like I'm going to have to take a detour. Hey, look, there's the ostrich farm here at Texas A&M University. Ostriches and emus, all kinds of crazy critters. Oh, man, I don't think I'm going to get out of here. This is a pretty bad traffic situation going on. Oh, wait, maybe it's clearing up. Okay, enough about traffic. That's a boring podcast. Ian Sharman, the 100-mile or the Grand Slam is you do, these 100 milers. 1 or 2 of them require a lottery to get into. So getting the opportunity to do the Grand Slam in itself is kind of difficult. And then he was racing another guy called Nick Clark for the time. They were racing against each other, and I think they both finished within like half an hour of each other by the end of it. So imagine running 4 100-milers and still racing the guy that you're trying to beat for the world record, because it's cumulative time. Imagine trying to beat him, down to the last few miles of 4 100 miles. That's how stiff the competition is for this kind of stuff and how crazy it is. Anyway, so he's amazing. But in his interview, he talks at length about how to train to go long. And he's self-coached, and he taught himself how to do this, which is really amazing. And it is chock full of great information. A lot of it, you nod your head because you've been there and done that. So if you're totally new to this kind of stuff, it's definitely applicable to Ironman, definitely. And if you're new to this stuff, you may be like, yeah, I guess whatever. But if you have some exposure and some experience to trying to go long, and you've been through this, you're like, oh my gosh, yes, he is so right about so many things. So definitely pay attention and go check it out. Running on interview with Ian Sharman, IANSHARMIN, I think. All right, so I just want to wrap up the show with letting you know that I have 1 coaching spot available, and the kind of clients, the coaching clients that I do awesome with are people that are independent and typically train by themselves, and they live all over the world. I coach people in Sweden, South Africa, New Zealand, trying to think, remote parts of North America, and they want to train. Brazil. As long as you can speak English and you've got internet access, I can coach you. And this is awesome because so many people want to do triathlons, but they don't live near a triathlon club. They don't live near a big city, so they live like I do, like in College Station, Texas. There's no triathlon environment out here. So you need a coach that can coach over the internet, and I have been coaching over the internet for, 8 to 10 years or something like that, and I've been USAT certified twice, and I've done 13 Ironmans, 100-mile trail run, tons of 50-miler trail runs, and gotten really successful at those, and specialty in cycling and swimming, how to get faster in those, so really help you out there. And so if you have internet access and you like to log your workouts, I am your guy. We use Training Peaks, and then with every workout, I pretty much demand that you put in your notes from that workout, because what that does for me is it gives me information on how that workout went, how it felt, how it affected you, how much energy you have, and then that is where the magic happens. When you say, well, I felt kind of tired towards the end of this 2-hour or 3-hour bike ride, I'll say, well, what'd you eat? Like, there's a back and forth after every workout because of your comments. And you'll say, well, I don't really know what I ate. And I'm like, there's your problem right there. You don't know what you ate. Or how much water did you drink? I don't know. Or my stomach started hurting about 30 minutes in. And I'm like, well, that's from what you ate before. What did you eat before? And you're like, well, I had, something heavy and fibrous. And I'll say, yeah, right before a workout, you shouldn't be doing that. And, or you got cramps, right? And then we start working on cramps. And after all these years, I have all the resources of who to talk to for any kind of specialty issue. And the magic really starts to happen with analyzing every workout from your comments. How does your workout feel? And how did it affect you? And how much rest are you getting? And with today's metrics over the internet, I think coaching allows you to be even better than an in-person coach at times, because I have to look at things like your cadence and your speed and your heart rate and all that to know how you're actually reacting to the workouts. And I think if you're in person, you may not even really notice that stuff, but if you're remotely, you have to look at that stuff, and that's the stuff that really matters. Really, really matters. When you're doing, I need to make sure I catch my exit right here. When you're doing a bike ride, and I say 10 minutes easy. Oh, and I love training people like this by time. Like I said with the swimming, you do so many minutes this, so many minutes that, so many minutes this, so many minutes that. It works on the bike, it works in the pool, it works on the run. It is amazing how easy it works and how few coaches, if any, actually do that. And so I can look at your bike ride and say, okay, I want you to do 10 minutes easy to warm up. Now 10 minutes at 80% of your FTP. And then you're like, well, what's FTP? And I'll say, oh, let's start testing FTP. And all the tools on how to know your FTP. And then when you're doing intervals, I can look at your cadence, because all this is uploaded to Training Peaks. It's incredible. We look at your cadence, and I'll say, okay, for this interval, your cadence was too high. And for this interval, your cadence was too low. And then you'll say, well, I can't do that. I can't do such a high cadence. It's hard. And I'm like, well, that's what we're going to be doing for a while. A little bit of high cadence work. How do you do high cadence? Well, you do low torque, right? So drop it down a gear, just pedal at a high cadence. And next thing you know, after a couple of weeks, you got high cadence and you fixed yourself through coaching, through ZenTri. Oh, and the other aspect of ZenTri is the mental aspect of training, how to deal with race day drama, and also just training day in and day out. I hold a full-time job, and I'm a dad, and I do lots of fun stuff with kids, Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts, and wait, hold on just a second. All right, I had to pause there because there's no using cell phones in a school zone, but they didn't say no eating, so I just ate a big chunk of salmon that was in a piece of Tupperware that I'm taking to work with me to snack on today. Nothing like swimming and then eating salmon. It's like I caught it myself with my mouth. Anyway, the mental aspect of racing and training day in and day out is really the specialty of ZenTri. As you can tell from the podcast, I really focus in on that and enjoy that. And once you have the right mindset, you can do just about anything. And we've gone to the point of, on ZenTri, swimming across Lake Tahoe, which was 13 and a half hours of swimming nonstop, successfully running a 100-miler, which was the longest thing, so that's 26 hours nonstop. And then also doing a self-supported Ultraman, which was, let's say 9 hours plus 10 hours, that's 19 hours, plus the 12-hour run on day 3. So, oh my gosh, we're getting into 31 hours of endurance sports in 3 days, nonstop. So we've got the experience here over at ZenTri, and I would love to coach a great athlete that wants to figure it all out and put it together and have a great season. So let me know. All right, that's it for this podcast. Oh, if you want to get in touch with me, I kind of keep my email. I keep my email a little bit hidden so I don't get spam. So it's Texafornia, Texafornia, because I used to live in California and I live in Texas. Texafornia@gmail.com is how you can get in touch with me about coaching. Let me know. Oh, it's $199 a month, which is actually a bargain for all the personal interaction that you get back and forth from me in person, emails, phone calls, text messages, all that stuff. And completely personally 100% built training plan. Okay, so that's it for this podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun, and I don't even know what the next show is going to be yet, and that's how we roll here. Everybody stay safe out there. Work the uphills, cruise the downhills, and keep the rubber side down. Out.